that. Okay. Now, hopefully, my audio should be fantastic. If it isn't, I blame existence. Ellie, you can check with your phone, I believe, as well, doing the same method we were doing previously. In theory, that should give you the
Jumping into the
method.
stream right now. I'm currently in the ad, but aside from that, it seems that it recognized that you're starting.
Nice. Okay, looks like it's going good. Ignore my rustling of this bag.
No, I refuse. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back through after the fact to redo the recording and amplify the sound 10 times. Too bad I can't
Actually
do
clips
that.
it.
Gotta play around with the clipping, you know. Okay. Well, I haven't actually eaten pretty much all day, so ignore that.
Sid, for the
Hello
love of
and
God,
welcome.
go make yourself a sandwich.
I have fries in my hand. I'm okay. Thank you. the concern was real, and I felt it appreciated. But hello and welcome, dear patrons, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. I am your storyteller, Sinspeaks, and today we shall be continuing the tale of shifting fates. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. As you heard, I am here with Averin, Oliver, Bill, and Eleonora, as always. Wow, we're starting off with 6 viewers today. I'm excited.
Oh my goodness. So
I know,
scared.
right? Why are you scared? You shouldn't be scared.
I'm scared for this episode, okay?
Well,
Always
be
be
concerned.
afraid.
Be deeply and everlastingly concerned. Hi, Pocket. So, last episode, we did a little bit of a bounce around. It was episode 40.5 as Rowena got to really feel her existence and pretend that she's not having a horrible mental breakdown. I do need to turn down my mic on. In theory, that made it sound good. But she was trying not to have a mental breakdown, maybe succeed, talk to a god, but we'll get to that. And so Rowena's character is away from the party for 2.5 days. She'll be in the Dwarven area again in 2.5 days after she had left. And then the rest of the party pretty much got asleep. Half the day went by, so about 2 days after you guys wake up is pretty much when she'll be coming back. In out of character, she'll be back next week, basically. But for very good reason this time. So let's move back to the Dwarven Keep? Question mark? Yes, Dwarven Keep. Okay, so Abrin, the last thing that your character remembers is you were walking towards the tavern. Everyone was in front of you. People weren't really noticing that you were there, but you're also kind of used to that because, obviously. And you started feeling kind of wobbly, kind of wavy. Very confusing. You don't normally feel that way. And then it just started getting black. And you fell over, and halfway through falling over, your vision went black, completely unconscious. Next thing that you know, you wake up, probably shooting out of bed, or shooting up in bed, concerned, obviously. And the first thing you see, Bill staring at you on the chair.
Oh my goodness.
Hi. Good
Hi.
morning. You've been a
Good morning as well. Well, how did I get here? I'm gonna immediately pat myself down just to check that I still have everything on me.
You have everything you had on you. Your coin purse is on you.
Well, I don't know the details. All I know is that what was it? Rowena brought you back. Apparently you were being kidnapped, so yeah. Oh, and then she put you on that bed, and then me and her had a talk, and she left. And you've been asleep for 2 days?
Oh, goodness. That's quite a while.
You want a
I was
sandwich?
kidnapped. Yes, please. Thank you.
Just grabs the back of holding hands or a sandwich.
I just like eat the sandwich reverently as I just think and stuff. Uh, I was kidnapped by who? To where?
Eh.
Oh,
All I know is that you were kidnapped apparently, and Rowena was the one who brought you back.
that was nice of her.
Yep.
It's interesting. Everyone here in this group really goes out of their way for someone like me. It's really confusing.
How so?
Well, where I come from, that kind of kindness. It's not exactly given. It's mostly a in it for yourself sort of thing. If
Ah,
you like do something for someone else or take food from someone who gives it to you, it's probably poisoned and they're going to rob you. It going out of your way to rescue someone who is kidnapped, it's generally not worth it.
well, you're our friend. You help us, and you're friendly. And don't try to stab everyone that you meet. As
Mm.
far as I'm aware, I lose track of you quite often. So why wouldn't we help you? Plus, most of us aren't from that place, and I grew up in the woods where I didn't know nobody. So having friends is a new experience. I'd rather not you go missing and possibly dead. Uh, Oliver is Oliver, and I think he doesn't have a bad bone in his body. And I'm pretty sure Eleonora, to some extent, uh, I don't know. I know she's friendly. I know she grew up in a tavern. It's probably some of it.
Mm.
Uh, I wouldn't think too hard on it, honestly. We're your friends, and we like you and don't want you dying on us. That would be sad. To be fair, I would still be able to talk to you, but the others probably wouldn't be able to, and that'd be sad for them.
Mm. Well, thank you for that.
Yee. Yee.
What did anything happen while I was out?
Uh, I met Paylor and Shara.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't like either of them. They're kind of butts. Found out my master is being kept in multiple realms via them, I think.
multiple realms.
Yeah, apparently they don't like him very much. So they kind of I don't like he's like kind of like holds up his hands like kind of like in a ripping motion. I'm pretty sure they ripped him apart.
Oh,
Heck, I think he's alive.
goodness. Huh.
He's just kind of in multiple places. I don't really understand it. I think it's like kind of pauses for a long time. I don't really have a good analogy for it, but yeah.
Hmm.
Uh we found a dwarf to smith stuff for us. I became a uh what's the word? Uh not honorable. Uh okay, Wally's actually having a moment here now.
President of the Alcoholics Club. It's okay. Note taker to the rescue.
No, the honorable dwarf, like what's the word?
Dwarf.
Alcoholics Club.
No.
Like
No,
not
honorable
that one?
dwarf. He basically became a dwarf.
yeah,
Dwarf
they
of
consider
honor.
me a yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Dwarf.
Oh, that part. Okay.
Uh well that happened. Turns out that guy we know, what was his name? Eli
Iron Belly.
Iron Belly went straight to the tavern. Apparently that other dude we know who knows all the weird skills and can learn anything. He apparently makes alcohol that even if we know us knowing him apparently is a good thing, as it makes the dwarves very happy to know us. So use that information how you will. That what's his face? Eli. No, wait. Whatever. You know who I'm talking about probably.
I believe so.
Uh Oliver, I believe I don't know what he got up to fully. I was kind of out cold for a lot of it because getting so drunk that you visit the realm of Shar and Palor is apparently an extremely, extremely strenuous process of a heart attack and falling over. Oh, and we made new alcohol. Also, we have a dwarf making stuff for us. And I caused Rowena to probably have a mental breakdown.
Oh.
Yeah, she we had a talk while you were out cold and we were sitting in here. I'd walked in to check up on you and her because, you hear, oh, one of your teammates out cold, and the first thought process was, well, better go check on him. And she hid away something, not sure what it was. Started talking with me. I sat on the bed next to you. We started talking. I went, can I really just show you what I mean by all the stuff I talk about? She kind of pushed away. I pushed back. You know how that conversation goes, button heads.
Hmm.
We sat there for a second. She asked a few questions and then she ran out of the room.
What questions?
Well, kind of scratches the back of his head. If a lot of the death of the elven people, the half elves, stuff related to that.
Um.
A lot of the souls aren't very happy about their own deaths,
Hmm.
Oh, interesting note. One thing that I realized while looking at Cat's sheet, Cat isn't a half elf. She's a full-blooded wood elf.
I'm not? Wait, I thought I was a half elf.
No, you are a full-blooded wood elf.
To be a half elf.
You could, in theory, change yourself to be a half elf, but based on
you're
your
a
character
wood full
sheet,
elf.
you are a full wood elf.
I thought
I
I was a
mean-
half elf this entire time.
I mean, we could cut you in half and you'd be a half elf.
Look,
you
we've
could
been
put-
just
you know what?
gatekeeping
You know what?
you
You know
into
what?
thinking you're a half elf.
The thing is, you grew up in a place where there were only half elves. You probably do believe wholeheartedly that you are actually a half elf.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Boosh. More character development.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's and she hasn't come back yet. I don't know if she's just mad at me or if she's just processing what the spirits told her. Yeah. Note, I did not force her to ask questions. I will levy that now. It was her own choice to ask the questions. I just presented what I see.
Hmm.
Not my fault. Kind of.
I'm sure it isn't. Hmm.
But that's what's more or less happened. I'm pretty sure Ellie and Oliver will have extra stuff. Should I call them to see, hey, you're alive and awake and not in a coma?
Um. Do what you will.
Gotcha. Just Bill jumps off the chair, walks to the door, reaches for the handle, misses
Bill-
once or twice, and yeah.
And everyone raises his like, Bill, I have a question, and this is rather unrelated to anything, but
Okay.
after the war, what are you planning on doing?
Kind of stops, reaching for the door. Kind of just sits there. Well, I don't really have much of a choice.
What do you mean?
I made a deal with the dragon. I have to go with that deal. Technically, I'll be trying to find a way to leave the realm and travel with it to help it find enemies to fight.
Oh,
I don't really get a choice after all this,
I see.
as that's the deal I made to save your life and everyone else's. I I didn't think that plan through very well.
No, it's all right. I understand. Thank you.
But I before that I hope to see what everyone else gets up to. Until I get my master back, my journey's not over. What
Understandable.
about you?
I don't know. Well, after the war, uh, I would probably head back to the slums.
Gonna try to improve anything, or just gonna head home, rest?
There's not much to improve. I don't have one.
Fair. Then why go back to the slums? Why not just keep traveling? You could become the world's most famous rich traveling bard.
That would certainly be quite alive, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you are a pretty interesting creature. Out of everyone I know, you're probably the most, what's the word? Not chaotic, driven.
That's so.
At least in my opinion. You want to live a fun life, which I find wholeheartedly acceptable. But, I mean, just a suggestion from little old me. Do what you think is best. Have fun, but don't discount traveling about. You ain't held down by nothing. You are the epitome, as Bill pats his chest proudly, of a bard. The best kinds of people.
Absolutely. It means a lot coming from you, friend.
But yeah, I know Oliver's gonna be. I think he's gonna be just traveling around doing medicine stuff. Maybe going to his home, and I think Eleonora is going back to Mercy. But you would need to ask them properly to get their full thing. I have a habit of not remembering certain events sometimes, especially when I'm drunk. I am not a reliable narrator.
No, not necessarily legible from what I've heard. You somehow started speaking some sort of strange, unearthly language.
Oh, no, that's just something I can do.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
see.
typically have to be really focused, and getting drunk helps me get really focused.
Fascinating.
It's a bizarre world I live in. Anyway,
Seems like it.
do you need anything? Since
Uh,
I'm grabbing people and stuff.
I'm alright. Don't worry about me.
Gotcha. As Bill continues to start reaching for the door again. Come on. Got it. Opens the door finally. And just walks out into the hallway on ears. Oi! She's awake!
So before we get to that point, we're going to move over to Ellie, and then essentially you guys have slept through most of the night, and then that's probably when Averin will have woken up, and so Averin will have woken up, but during the night, we're gonna move over to Ellie, sleeping. So Ellie, you head to sleep. You get pretty much full full barden room. Just because your grandpa's Dar, you obviously gave um the stick, and so you lay down, kind of concerned about Averin, worried to a degree that you know she might be in coma or something. But you lay down, you close your eyes, and you go into a trance state. It's not really sleeping, it's not really being awake, it's just kind of in a trance. And you slowly begin to wake up. Not quite wake up, but slowly start to exist in your brain space. And it is, as it kind of used to, absolute darkness. You can see kind of below you, rippling away from you, small white lines, kind of like sound waves, or if you step in the middle of a pond, it echoes out from you. But you don't see the gods there just yet. You're welcome to call out to them. You're welcome to just sit there and wait, whatever you like to do.
So Ellie's going to look around and it's like, oh, this is different. Is this the home to you, Inner God? I don't quite know your name, so is this your home? Are you trying to talk to me? I'd love to chit chat with you.
You don't get a reply from your god, but you do have that feeling that I described last episode with Rowena, which is the hairs on the back of your neck and your arms start to slowly stand up as you hear a voice kind of like behind you, almost unsettling behind you, that just says, "No, but this is my terrain."
It's been a while, Shar.
Indeed. It's been far too long, Eleanor.
How are you?
Honestly, quite entertained. Your party members make fascinating creatures.
I've heard you've been visited by Bill, our Kenku bard.
Indeed.
I'm sure he had some interesting fun. I heard he wasn't able to find your coffee.
We do not have those drinks here, but yes, he was a fascinating creature to explore around. We're keeping our eye on him. He may prove to be very interesting later.
Why is that?
Well, it's simple. He's insane. And for some reason, he wishes to kill us. Or shall I more accurately say, he thinks he can.
Well, I mean, many people believe that. I've even met a person that has successfully killed a god. So I'm sure he's not the only one that believes he can kill you and Paylor.
Well,
Though, if he's wanting to kill you, that must mean that you have something he wants. He doesn't go around wanting to kill people. I mean, it's not usually a thought behind those eyes.
he is a very strange creature indeed. You then hear another voice. That one kind of spawns more or less right in front of you, and you do recognize the presence of Paylor as his tall kind of demeanor pops up kind of next to you, almost just through space and time, more or less, as he just says, "I'm keeping my eye on him."
Can you guys just leave my party out of this? I'd quite enjoy that. Last I checked, not many people can handle you unless they've been god touched or they're a god themselves. So I'd rather their heads not, get imploded. That'd be nice.
That's only if we attempt to speak with them directly, without any other means. They keep on beckoning us towards them. Oliver, for example, interacts with me through stones, messages that we carve most of the time. Whether or not my message will transfer to him is debatable. He is the whim of fate, I suppose. Shar has had interesting interaction with Rowena, I believe was her name. And Bill
What do
has
you mean?
decided to interact with both of us for some reason.
I knew about Bill, but why Rowena?
Shar, like, kind of like,
And
you
Ellie's
can
gonna turn to Shar.
feel
It's like,
her
excuse you.
smile. You can feel her smile at you. She just says, "Oh, that was just a little bit ago. She shot me."
She shot you?
Indeed. Well, I suppose it wasn't
Well,
just a little bit ago for you. You're in a weird dream state after all. Time does not flow the same for you as it does for others in this state. Think of it like dreaming. Technically, she kind of like pauses for a second. In your time, it will have been a couple, maybe 4 hours or so after you have fallen asleep. For us, it was a moment ago.
okay. So much for making sure you guys, don't influence or bug my friends. I personally would rather be the one to deal with you guys myself than anyone else. We already have a war to deal with and a disease to deal with, and Rowena's having issues with her life, and Everyone else already has plenty of issues. Why can't you just stay with me?
You have yet to choose a side, my dear, have you not?
I feel like my life's more interesting enough with the suspense. Thank you.
We have only gone to the beckoning of your friends. We have decided not to interact with them without that beckoning, such as your other elven friend.
Well, at least she's free from your influence, in a sense, I guess.
Our influence is strong, but not stronger than free will. You can feel that word being thrown like a dagger at fucking Paylor. Like that was a mean comment that she just threw at Paylor, and he doesn't budge.
Char, I would appreciate not having a little, the fight with me in the middle in my dream state. Thank you.
It would be so entertaining, though, seeing
Oh,
what you would
yeah,
do with your
no.
life on the line yet again, child.
Yeah, let's see. What would happen if I was dream state almost dead? Well, let's see. I guess I have my fry pan. Sure, that would totally work against you guys right now, not in your mortal forms.
Well, maybe you can find our mortal forms one day.
I already know where they're at. They're on the towers.
Aye. But can you approach us? That is the true question. We live high in the sky.
Um, I'm sure there's ways around that, but I honestly wouldn't have any issue approaching you guys. I mean, I deal with you guys most days anyway. So I'm
Paylor just
even
kind of
standing
shrugs.
between you two anyway right now. The only difference is you're not mortal right now. I could
Indeed.
walk up to Paylor and try to steal his tie or something.
He just kind of like shrugs for a moment, and he then speaks up again, and he just goes, "The only reason that we still find you entertaining, child, is that you have something inside of you that we don't know how to deal with. You are the epitome of chaos and confusion. Char loves that. I find it irritating, but it is also the truest statement of my own will. If I can turn something like you into a controlled tool, if I can do that to you, and there's no one on this continent I couldn't."
Look, I already know I'm hard to handle. There's a lot to unpack with me, but you didn't have to put in fancy words.
One day we're going to peel that god out of you, and we'll see what makes it tick. Till that day comes, you're still of some worth.
Well, as long as I'm your guys' only entertainment, I don't mind it. However, good luck getting this god to speak, but because if they've chose me to tuck away for a while, there's a pretty good reason as to why. And who knows, this god could overpower both of you combined. Or they're weaker. Who knows? In any case, they're sitting, waiting, and watching each move.
You always have a question,
So,
child, whenever we see you. What is your question today?
well, my question today is I know you have already answered about Bill's memories and don't quite know of them. Do you know of his master?
Indeed.
Whatever happened to him? And why do you guys keep him?
It was a thorn in our side. What do you do with thorns?
You get rid of them, but I don't understand why his master in particular is up here and he has no memory of it.
His memory is not our doing, something that his master decided to inflict upon him. His master was an irritation, something that we simply could not deal with, because it messed up our game. Think of it as,
Oh.
in your mortal words, cheating.
Oh?
Aye,
Does he have a book anywhere on it?
no.
Clearly I'm not a thorn enough for you guys.
The way that his
know,
master
Sure,
would
your
have...
plan.
His master would have interrupted our battle in a way that we couldn't account for, which means that neither of us would have won, and we would have to start a new game. We didn't want to do this, so we instead removed the piece that was bothering us.
What did he do?
He had potential to kill us both.
And that scared you to the
Oh, it
point
didn't
of getting
scare
rid
us.
of one single. That's fear. Paylor, that's fear. Shar,
It's a tactical
fear, right?
advantage. Char just kind
You're
of like
scared of him.
lounges and she just goes, "Oh, it wasn't fear for Paylor, my dear. Paylor's just an asshole."
Yeah,
It was totally
He is
fear
like
on
that
my side,
sometimes,
though.
isn't he?
I didn't particularly want to lose this battle before I even played. Paylor's just a douchebag.
Ellie's gonna grab her fry pan and point at Paylor and is like, see, honesty is the best policy. If you're scared, then be scared. Admit that you're scared.
I have no
Lying
need for
just
your
makes you
human
lose.
emotions.
Ah, if you had no need to it, then why am I here? And why do you hang out with me?
Again, you're intriguing. You are pure chaos. You are practically Char's puppet. But if I can turn you into something more controlled, then anyone on the continents, I'm certain I could do that to as well. You're an experiment to me, child. An interesting one.
Well, I hope I strive to be a thorn in your side in some kind of way. Is there some way we can reach his master?
No.
Are you sure? Shar, is there some way to reach his master?
Can you travel between planes, my dear?
Clearly, I can travel to this one.
That's because
what's
you're
stopping
inside of a
me?
different spatial time recognition and we are invading your existence.
So let me invade his.
I'm afraid you can't do that.
Why not?
Do you have any idea how to control your body in astrological plane?
I'm sure there's some sort of way. I mean, if you put him there, then you can simply take him out.
Oh, we could take him out. I'm certain we could. If we both pooled our power together or we got the old one to shove him out.
So it would be funny if theoretically you guys were threatened with death unless you took him out.
If we're threatened by death to take him out and we're threatened by death to put him in, we'll just probably take the death and leave him there for eternity.
Interesting. So he's that much of a thorn in your sides. Wow, Paylor. I'm quite impressed.
He messed up my game.
Why didn't you just use him then? Instead of getting rid of him?
Simple. He wouldn't listen to me. He detested Char's ideals. Imagine your friend Bill, but more intelligent. Now make him pick a side. Which side would he choose?
Neither.
Exactly.
Because if he's like Bill, he listens to his spirits.
Indeed. So he would have messed up our game. And if he messed up our game, we would have had to wipe the slate clean and restarted. We've done that many times. I'm uninterested in continuing this repetition. I seek to end it, not continue.
Shar, who started this game?
Oh, technically he did, but I also agreed with it. And then we've gone rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds for longer than your mortal brain could possibly comprehend.
Why are you guys continuing?
Oh, it's simple. Because if I don't continue, he gets the world. He gets this continent. If he doesn't win, then I get the continent, which really just means that he loses, and he's a bitch.
Ellie will turn to Paler still. It's like, so this is all your fault as to why everyone's continuing to fight, because you want everyone to be happy-go-lucky in your supposed paradise because you like control. And control is
wouldn't
the
be
only way to
happy-go-lucky.
stroke that lovely pride of yours.
They wouldn't be happy-go-lucky. They wouldn't feel happiness. They would feel content. There would be no grief, no sorrow, no pain, no sadness, no rage, no irritations, no happiness, no celebrations. They would simply all be content with their lives for the rest of time, which means that no one ever would ever again be hurt. Isn't that something that you would want, child? You are seeking to complete this war to have that happen after all, aren't you? To make it so no one ever has to feel pain again in a war that they are forced to uphold, right?
Just for the war, but that's not living if you don't have pain. You kind of have to have pain to learn. You have to have pain to eventually feel happiness.
Would you say the
You
same
can't
if you
exactly
lost
have
your
a rainbow
forest?
without rain. Ellie's gonna walk toward Payload.
He is staring you down.
To say you took control of the world. If you destroyed my forest, yes, I would feel nothing. But I can guarantee you someone in your fantasy realm would have feeling again. Because I can guarantee you, if you were to destroy my forest, I cannot guarantee your safety anymore.
That wasn't my question, child. Would you feel happiness again in your lifetime if I burned your forest down?
If you burnt my forest, I wouldn't feel happiness.
So why do you think people should experience grief to be happy?
Because then they learn from it. Just like how many are going to feel grief when they learn that they will lose this war. And they're going to have to accept that they will not win this war. And that they will have to learn of this new life that has no war.
Mm.
I'm sure every god you've killed felt some kind of grief, and then they had to accept what was going to happen.
Oh, certainly. That's why I'm better.
Yeah. A life like that is the reason why we saved Mercy. The Equality Goddess had something similar. And we saved the people from that control because they were not alive. Trust me, I should know.
Your
Jackson was under control.
equality goddess had a single flaw in her domain. She did not control them. She replaced them. They were still there in the back of their minds, watching as her puppets used their bodies. I would not make them go into their subconscious. I would rewrite their entire minds. There's a difference, child.
And how boring that is. You know, if you wanted people in your life, you can learn to do that like every mortal has, instead of taking control, instead of being a narcissistic asshole that you are. Honestly, if I wasn't kind of against both of you, I would honestly pick Shar at this point
Shar starts to
because
laugh
of
at that.
how controlling you are. You don't even think of how that's going to make people feel and how much slowly but surely people will turn against you. You're going to be bored of how much control you'll have, and it'll be the loneliest, cruelest thing to yourself. So why continue? Shar sounds so much more better for this world than you.
Shar kind of like sits up a little bit as you're talking, and she kind of laughs a little bit, but smiles at you, and she just goes, "Oh, my dear, you have a wrong idea about him. I'm so sorry. Paylor doesn't get bored. He doesn't have the same emotions as you do, my dear. He doesn't comprehend things the same way you do. He doesn't understand the things you're talking about. Paylor has a different mind entirely from what your human, mortal brain could possibly comprehend. He doesn't get bored with total control. Your 1,000 years that you could be experiencing is a blink of the eye for us. The entire world could spin and stop and spin again, and we would be taking a nap. You seem to be thinking, my dear, that he has the same concepts about your feeble brains that you do. He doesn't.
If I were a god, I would at least take the time to learn those that I would control if I were you.
How long does your kind live?
Long enough to live, long enough to enjoy, create, and to love. Do not touch my friends. Do not ruin them. Do not curse them. Do not anything. I would sooner give up my elvish heritage than allow you guys to ruin anything important to my friends or my forest.
We have done nothing to your friends, my dear.
Doesn't mean you will.
We have no interest in the mortals of this world changing for us. If they are inclined to follow our ways, we'll guide them. But otherwise, remember, my dear, I'm inclined for free will. And Paylor does not care about one of your itsy bitsy little mortal lives. You're a speck of dust for both of us. But I'm intrigued by what a speck of dust can do when it climbs. He wants to stomp them all out.
Well, in any case, this is just going in circles. Paylor wants
Indeed.
control, and she'll just turn around to Shar and you want free will just to simply exist and watch a show.
Oh, yes.
That's really it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, in any case, it'd be better for a third god to just take you both out and be the middle one. Be the balance of it all. Have the chaos and have the peace.
She's still like float over to you and gently boop your nose, and she's gonna go, "Is that gonna be you, honey?"
You know, maybe. Who knows? If I have nothing else to live for, maybe I will just become the god of this world. Get rid of you both so you can just leave.
If
You
you
said
are
you want this to
able,
be your last game.
if you are able to ascend to our plane, then I wish you the best of luck. You will
yes,
go
I'll just puff out
insane.
wings and be a menace. Be that wing on the thorn in your side.
Oh,
Apparently a
oh,
speck of dust
my
is enough to
dear.
scare you.
You, with your mortal brain, would go insane. Please, do your best. Climb the ranks. Lift yourself up that ladder. Become a speck of dust that flies to the heavens. I want to see you fall.
And I want to see you both bleed. For me, and cry out my name. And Ellie's gonna wake up.
Yep. As you wake up, you hear Bill shout out, "She's awake!"
Ellie's gonna shoot up and go to Averin.
All right.
Just imagine all just in the back room, just handed up to that moment, just face down on the desk, just very groggily now pushing himself up, looking down at the potion, just like, there's no way I'm going to be able to use this for anything. Just as just feebly putting it in his outfit bag before he finally stands up and goes to the door.
So y'all show up, everyone like gets up from the bed and does like a bow.
I'm alive.
'Tis I.
How
I'm
are you
awake.
feeling? How are you
Pretty
feeling?
alright, honestly. A little tired and such, but otherwise, at my best.
I'm glad to hear that.
At least it's a pretty darn good start. Had us scared there for a minute there.
Oh well, always rise back up again. It seems like you all had fun while I was gone.
No, getting
Pretty
caught
much.
between two gods is pretty entertaining, but it is what it is.
I apparently have an finger quotes assistant now. He just says, and
Oh.
pulls up the new gray potion. And I made something that's basically worthless, I think.
Can I drink it?
I don't think there's been anything you've created that's been worthless, Ollie.
This is an elixir of this is a potion of aging.
Well, okay, it could be useful for someone not in this group.
Bill staring at it, drooling.
Can I drink it though?
Technically, yes, but I do not think it's a good idea.
Do you really want to be old, Bill?
Aren't I already old?
I don't actually know.
Think about it like this. This could rip up to 6 years off the end of your life. And it probably tastes like overcooked food.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I won't know until I drink it.
Oh, God.
I'm not giving you this one, Bill. That's for your own good. Just sliding it back in the bag.
Yeah, I would like to spend every year we have with each other, thank you. Let's not lessen those because of a potion that may taste like jerky at this point.
Jerky
I don't
tastes
even know
good,
what it. I said it probably tastes like overcooked food. I would wager that probably would be like eating charcoal.
Probably.
But that's a discussion for another day. So, is there anything else we should finish off before we go get done with that task, or?
Well, nothing new on the gods since we're all here, and I'll update Rowena when she decides to answer me. I'll shoot her a try to get a hold of her on the sending stone, probably as we're going. But Bill, the gods still don't like your master. They won't allow me to get a hold of him.
Oh, that doesn't
But
shock me.
I'm honestly quite fascinated the fact that he was such a thorn in their side to the point they got rid of him. Mostly Paylor did. Shire was kind of scared of him.
I wouldn't give everything.
It still
I
sounds
would,
like
I would
Say-
give everything a grain of salt. Let's be real here.
Yeah,
it still sounds,
but
it still sounds like that would be a valuable ally if we are going to be going up against them later on.
Yeah, the problem is we kind of have
Yeah.
to, get him.
Maybe.
well, I mean, apparently Rowena talked to Shar not that long ago before I did, so and apparently shot her. And
She's definitely having a good
Is she
week.
all right?
yeah. Well, no, Rowena shot Shar.
I know. Is Ruina all right?
I have no idea. She won't answer. I haven't gotten a hold of her yet. But the
stuff
Shar
now?
didn't seem wounded, so either but it went fine, Shar healed, or Rowena missed, or they struck up a deal, I guess, and Shar allowed her to shoot her.
Ah. Hmm.
A little bit of scary thought, but I guess we'll find out when she gets back.
Well,
And nothing's new other than the fact they're both waiting on me to choose a side. So apparently I'm chaos, and that's entertaining.
It seems like you
But-
made it kind of clear that you're not really for either of them. Or at least it seems like that should be
Yeah,
obvious.
I'm really not. I'm very much a middle person, but if I'm being honest, Shar is the more optimal option for this world. If not Shar, then no one.
How do you figure?
Because Paylor basically has said many times now that he wants control. He's going to rewrite everyone so they would never feel grief and pain and just they'd be content with their life. That's it.
so he would get all the
He
stuff
would
that
have-
makes all the rest of it worthwhile.
Sounds like the most
Yeah,
boring
so
existence
basically
I've ever heard of.
what yeah, it's basically what happened in Mercy, but more control over everyone possible. That's what it is. While Shar would just give everyone free will. She just wants to basically sit back and watch everyone. Be a little chaotic, I'm sure, in little tidbits, but it'd be like normal life. She just wants to watch people.
Technically,
Everyone will
she's
have that
also
free
stated to
agency, but yeah.
you that it's free will with no rules.
Yeah. Basically, free will for everyone, but there'd be no rules.
Oh, that
Which-
really.
How does
Yeah,
she
which in a sense wouldn't end well, but I'm sure just like how there's rules in the Citadel and everything, there'd be some kind of rules in place, if not for the rules set by a god.
Again,
How do you
I'm gonna
like-
ask. Do you really think she's telling the truth?
In a sense, yes. If not, if
It's bits and
It's
pieces,
the
but not the
truth.
whole thing.
it's the truth, but not fully. However, just by how they are, it makes sense that Shar would be the better option. If not, someone would have to take their place, which yeah, we'll see. I mean, Ezekiel has killed gods. Maybe he'll take over. Or
That's
I
what his
humored
name was.
I humored both of them in saying that I'll just take over their spots if I have nothing else to live for. But for that to happen, everyone in this group and my forest and Mercy have to be gone.
Speaking of Ezekiel,
So
if we're going
yeah,
to
it's fun.
speaking of Ezekiel, if we're going to need some more allies to go and deal with the gods later on, then do you think he might be a good candidate to be keeping an eye out for Bill's teacher?
Can he travel between planes?
Heck, I don't know. It sounds
He
like
probably knows of it.
Sounds like he's got a pretty broad experience with nearly every field, and I'm fairly certain my old mentor is not the only one that figured out how to twist the dimensions.
There's a will, there's a way. I mean, they did state that Shar and Palar would have to combine their powers and convince the old one to get Bill's mentor out.
And or.
And or. So they would have to combine both of their god powers to get him out, or convince the ancient one or the old one to get him out. That's how
That
you're
is,
going
by
to
the
get your
way,
master
the
back.
the very first time anyone in your group has ever heard the term "the old one."
The old one? Above game, can I make an assumption like a Cthulhuid sort of thing? Just simply on the assumption that books like that probably exist in this world?
Yeah, you can make that assumption.
The old one. As in Lovecraftian monstrosities?
I don't know. I just would safely assume it's someone like them. Granted, I haven't met any other god other than them, so.
If it is a great old one from some of those stories, then we're gonna have one heck of a time.
Well, we'll deal with that hurdle when we can. I mean, we know one person that has dealt with gods and has basically melted his brain to defeat one in a sense, so he's much better at it than I, so. And who knows? Maybe when we talk to the dwarves are known to have all sorts of information. Maybe we can try to find out about that library Ezekiel's trying to find. That way we have something he wants to know in trade for him to help us with the god situation.
I was going to suggest that maybe the library he was looking for was the archives here, but if he's got this much respect from the dwarves, surely they would have let him in already.
True, but it's worth the shot. I mean, he is doing all he can to try to find out the information. Granted, he's also acquainted with a god that doesn't like stories to end, so I really hope that god doesn't try to step in, considering we're trying to change things. But if that god didn't like how we were doing things, I'm sure Ezekiel would have tried to stop us already. But that's just my wild guess.
I mean, I could also make the argument a story that never ends also could theoretically mean a world that could potentially exist forever.
That is true.
Though I suppose that's probably going to run into its own problems somewhere down the road as well.
Probably. I mean, Ezekiel didn't want Palor or Shar to have the equality goddess, so I'm assuming he took the equality goddess himself, or maybe absorbed her. I don't know exactly what he did to her.
So in other words, Ezekiel could potentially be a dangerous force in this as well.
Maybe, but I hope not, considering we're kind of on his good side.
Yeah,
Who
that's
knows?
fair.
I mean, he did trust us with the necklace to find his brother, so.
How's that going, by the way?
Well, and Ellie will pull out the necklace again. And it's like, well, it hasn't really pointed in any direction while we're here, so I'm assuming he's not here.
You told also you should put in the palm of your hand if you held it. In Ezekiel's words, it could be dangerous.
Duly noted.
I'm assuming you put in the palm of your hand.
Yes. I don't
hold
want
it,
assuming
hold it.
off.
Live on the edge. Live on the edge.
No.
When you put in the palm of your hand, you can feel like start to budge in a direction. Probably based on where you're standing, likely pointing towards Cataclysm, but you're not entirely sure.
Well, it's definitely not pointing in a direction we're at currently, so we'll just check it out again when we get to Cataclysm.
Probably our only real direction in general. Still, though, we do have a bit we probably need to finish here first.
We still have to meet with the blacksmith and then meet with the king so we can find out the shortcut they have to get to the orcs, so we don't have to go through the Trail of Bloody Tears again.
I mean, I did have a wormhole potion to the edge of the trail, but I suppose it's only enough for one person.
Yeah. Don't maybe as a backup plan. You know?
I suppose.
All right. So you guys plan on
should
going
probably
to
go.
the... Huh?
We should probably go pick up our stuff.
Yes, to the blacksmith.
All right. So you guys start heading towards Blacksmith. I should probably put down your overall group token. There you go. Right in the fires of hell. There we go.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So you guys head over to the Blacksmith. It's a big fucking shop. I mean, this thing is massive. It is easily one of the largest buildings in the entire town. You can feel the heat from the forge standing like 20 feet away from the front door. Like, it's big, it's massive, it's hot. And you can hear him just pounding away at Mel inside the area. Most of the people around you are giving him a wide berth. Or, well, giving the building a wide berth. Probably because it's hot as hell.
Waka 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 waka.
I think I'd rather deal with this heat rather than be a popsicle at Cataclysm. Goodness.
Is it really that bad? Above game, Ollie has heat resistance.
How are you not sweating right now, Oliver? It feels like I'm on top of the trees again.
Is it really that hot? It feels like room temperature to me. Just
Ellie's gonna grab his hand and put it to her forehead. I'm assuming she's like kind of sweating.
Yeah. She's just kind of sweating on your hand.
Are you okay?
Doc, tell me
Are you sick?
I don't have a fever. No, I don't. I'm not sick. I'm just dying of heat.
Imagine how
Not
I feel.
literally.
A coat, a cloak, and a button-up shirt. And a bag.
How are you not dying? I don't understand you people. What the heck?
I am wearing a hat underneath the hat that's magical because I don't want to ruin my style. An oversized shirt and a cloak from that weird lady we killed. You know, that's a really bad sentence coming out of my mouth. That lady we killed in the North Pole underneath it because, again, can't ruin the style.
Bill feels pretty... It feels kind of
toasty.
Yeah, it's kind of
toasty in
toasty.
here.
Averin feels like she's in a volcano at the moment. It's hot.
I mean, I work with fire on a exceptionally regular basis. It's just never really seemed exorbitantly hot to me.
You know what? Whatever. This group's weird. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love this group, and I hope we will have the weirdest times at Mercy or something. However, at this moment in time, I do not understand how you're not dying right now, Oliver.
Jackson's just like, yeah, I'm just don't stand out here while you guys go in there. It's hot.
Traitor.
Nah. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get a drink with Iron Belly. Let me know if you need me. It's cool in there. Yeah. I'm
Save
wearing
a drink
leather.
for me, please.
All right.
Yeah, and it's nice leather.
Thanks. It's also soaks in heat.
I'll just get a personal tan here, I guess, while you go enjoy yourself without me.
You have fun with that. I'll save you a drink. And he just walks off.
I mean,
Love you too.
If the heat's really that much of a problem, I could probably quickly make bow. What's the word I'm looking for here? I could probably apply some balance and reinforcement to water element in order to make an ice-based oil. Probably would make it feel a little bit more chilly, but
I mean, that's probably a better idea than what I'm currently thinking of doing, but we can just make this trip quick. Then
What are you
we
thinking
can
of
get out.
doing?
That's for me to know and you to not find out, Bill. No offense.
None taken. I don't want to know if it's something stupid. Because then I want to do it myself.
Just a full body tan sounds really nice right now.
Oh, that doesn't change much for me. Remember, I'm
Anyway.
all feathers.
He already looks like
And you're
charcoal
not
got
shedding?
sprayed on him.
And in that front, I get a new hand today. I can finally drink properly.
Yay! How exciting. I'm so excited to see what it looks like.
So you guys
As well,
make your
though,
way inside, some with difficulty, some not so much. As you guys walk inside, it gets much hotter, as you guys can tell why. There is a massive, I mean like 10-foot high, roaring flame in the middle of the house that you can see, well, it's kind of like more in the back middle, but yeah, it's like a massive roaring flame that you can see him like running over to, booming out air into in order to make it even larger, shoving a massive metal or whatever the hell he's forging into there, and then like pulling it out and slamming what looks like a really hefty hammer into it. And he's just like moving like A, he's been doing this for more years than y'all could count, and B, that it's a practiced ease. He's barely even sweating.
huh? Maybe it is slightly hot in here.
Oh, perhaps just a little bit.
Average just drenched
I'm
head
so
to
done with both of you.
The blacksmith looks at y'all as you're talking. He goes, "Oh, hello there."
Hey,
Hi.
we're back. How do things go?
Oh yeah, don't mind the forge. He kind of like grabs a metal, like a legit metal grate, just above him and slams it down. You're fairly certain that metal could cook your hand if you touched it, and you're resistant to fire. And he's like, "Yeah, don't mind the forge. It's been up and running for a couple hours now. Actually, probably throughout the night. Was it up since yesterday? I don't quite recall. Anyways, but yeah, I got some of the stuff done." He reaches into like a bag and pulls out a I believe you want a horn, a mug, Ellie.
Yeah, I wanted a mug.
Yeah,
Mug
he
and
hands you
stones.
the mug horn, and he goes, "I made this in 10 minutes. Probably more like 8.
Well, thank you.
I got bored, so I wrote a little bit on it as well. Magic sigils and shit. It never runs out of liquid, kind of. You drink it, it fills back up. You drink it, fills back up. It's pretty neat. It was a very boring job.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
glad you asked me for these too,
Thank
and he
you.
hands you the sending stones. This was much harder to do. Not actually that difficult, but much harder than a horn. Seriously, master
just, like,
blacksmith.
I was just like standing there staring at the mug, just sweating, and remembering the one that we saw in the slums.
Yeah, he
That's
just like as he
fine.
says, master blacksmith, he gestures to his giant forge, and it's full of like incredible craftsmanship of all kinds. It's just like incredible, mug.
I told you you go for the crazy ones, and I was right.
Indeed, Mr. Bill. And he reaches
Okay.
into a bag and he pulls out a fucking awesome looking bone hand. This thing looks like, it almost looks futuristic just from how hardcore his detailing is on the damn thing. He fused metal into the bone itself, and he made something that looks very similar to your other hand, but just clearly metallic, shiny, and then the middle finger is just the solid bone. Essentially, as like the middle finger is just the solid bone, and then the other 2 fingers are metal attachments, essentially. And so it's just a massive white claw with metal attachments to it, and he hands it to you. This thing will do you a hell of a fine job in battle. If you stab someone with it, well, it's a very electrifying experience.
Oh, I can. So while I was messing around, can I put it on?
Oh yeah, please.
Just kind of fits it to his hand. Is this the right strap?
Oh yeah, just here. And he's just like starts filling with it, showing you how to like put it on. You can tell he loves this thing.
Yeah, since it's not my actual hand, and I can kind of use it as a weapon. So I figured out some of those dragon things in the last 2 days.
Oh?
So apparently I can infuse stuff. Check it.
Oh.
As he just like looks at his hand and just starts using the chromatic infusion for acid.
Oh
and just,
my god.
drips it towards the ground. Check it. Since I'm immune to acid, this one's actually probably the most effective. By the way, I figured that out. Don't ask me how. As he like pokes the ground with the claw.
Jesus Christ.
I'm greatly concerned for this group now. I've literally been around you guys the past forever. When did you learn this, Bill?
When I figured out that my eyes are no longer black.
What?
Sorry, what?
Ellie's gonna grab your head.
And you just see these like golden eyes where his old eyes used to be. Yeah, I think that's the dragon thing the guy was talking about.
Oh, what the heck?
You don't think you screwed with your elemental makeup, did you? Do you?
I don't think that far
Are
ahead.
you part like dragon now? And she's like looking around your head, making sure there's nothing else different.
No, I'm still full Kenku. I think it's just like
Okay.
a mark, kind of like tattoos, except me eyeballs.
Ah. Well, the really awesome thing about my thing is I also got bored after I finished your thing. You may be able to notice, and you can actually feel it. The magical signals on it, they attach your brain to the weapon. Aside from nerves, obviously, you can't really feel. He then grabs a knife and slams it against your fake hand. You don't feel it, obviously. He just throws the knife into the fire.
Ellie panics.
Apparently, he slammed it against Bill's hand, or they threw it directly into his fire.
Ellie panics so fast. It's like is ready to fight the blacksmith.
Oh, that's
Please tell
cool.
me you've got mending.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Wow.
The
wait.
spell mending.
If you think that knife could have done anything to this hand, you doubt my craftsmanship.
Again, you go for the
It's
crazy
bone. Bone is traditionally weaker
It's-
than wood.
It's
I also
dragon bone.
I also infused it. It's now resistant to anything that's not magical. Now, if I took this,
so-
he reaches over and grabs a beautifully designed weapon. This is magical. If I slashed his bone with this, it would slice it off in half.
Whoa,
It's
wait,
dragon
take a few
bone,
steps
bone.
back. You said infusions?
Oh, yeah. I
Ellie's
infuse
so
things
ready
with
to fight
magical
people.
quantities. He then puts it back. Usually I infuse it directly into the weapon itself, so it's no longer attached to me. Depends on how much I like the weapon, though. If I really like the weapon, I bind it to my soul. He reaches over and grabs a massive fucking warhammer.
Oh,
This is Betsy.
by the way, that is a very big hammer.
Wow, maybe I should have had you like infuse something to my fry pan.
Oh,
No, please,
by
I
the
won't
way-
touch anything made of another man's weapon. Ugh.
Oh, by
I
the
have
way,
you know this was made by a god. Thank you.
Nah, fuck that shit. I make bear shit in my sleep.
by the way,
Ellie glares.
where's that sword I left you?
Oh, right. He reaches over, and like he kind of has to walk a little bit, but he grabs it, and he walks back out to you. It's a short sword. It's not a short sword. It's a, no, it would be a short sword. Yeah. He hands it to you. It's a beautifully looking short sword. All the rust that was on it, gone. All the intricacies of it, pretty much gone. Like the metal looks beautiful. The hands craftsmanship. It looks like he just restored it. It also doesn't look like he actually changed out a whole lot. The tips of it looks like he refined it a little bit. Probably it's like an inch or two shorter than it used to be, just because he had to chop off a little bit of it.
You didn't add the
The
dragon bone to it.
Huh?
You didn't add the dragon bone to it as Bill's looking at it.
Oh yeah. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to mess with the originality of it. It's another person's craftsmanship, so I wasn't entirely sure if you wanted to change it, as it were. Once I get my hammer onto it, it changes it quite severely. So
I was just wanting to, whenever you did whatever you did to it, I didn't really care. It was just like, well, make it into a new weapon if possible, but the dragon bone was kind of the thing I just wanted added to it. However you changed it would have been up to you. I didn't give that much thought. I don't give a lot.
Well, in that case, he like grabs it and he's like, "I'll be back in 5 minutes." And he walks in. He just stands in front of his forge, and you see him snap the blade in half.
Oh.
And just like literally rip the handle.
Well, that's one way to do it.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, do this with every weapon. If it cannot handle me snapping in half, please. It's a piece of shit."
Ellie's holding her fry pan close.
This man just took solid steel and snapped it like it was a toy.
Neat.
And he grabs the dragon bone. He's like, "You guys might want to shield your eyes a little bit. This does get bright." And he tosses the dragon bone into the fire.
Just like immediately pulls his mask on.
And Bill just pulls up his scarf to his eyes.
Ellie's hiding behind her fry pan.
Are you hiding, Averin?
I'm trying to remember if my dark vision had like anything that like would like injure me if I actually like saw like bright lights, like how I would react there. I don't think so, but I'll definitely look away.
Your dark vision would not. It's just that this is basically like is essentially the same thing as Ellie's blinding ability.
Wait, so didn't we actually give elves resistance to bright light instead of darkness?
Depends on where they're born.
Oh my gosh, that's true.
You would have. Rowena does have bright vision instead of dark vision. However, Averin was born in the slums, which means that even though she's an elf, she was born in darkness, and so she gets dark vision instead. Because her being resistant to light while being born in the dark doesn't make too much sense to me. But Rowena is the opposite. So I'm assuming you like raise your hand or something like that.
Yeah, just like nonchalant. He's like, "Okay then."
Yeah, so the moment that the dragon bone like slams into the fire, and by the way, he did not toss it gently. It was like he threw a tomahawk into the fire. Like you can hear it bounce off the inside of his forge thing, and it was not pleasant clang either. As like slams into it, bounces off, slams into the coal, and he just stands there as it explodes in bright light. I mean, it's so bright that even through the cloth, even through the mask, and so on and so forth, it's still kind of stinging your eyes. And you can see he has his hands on his hips. He's just staring directly into it. This man, you're not really sure what's wrong with him, but as he's staring into the fire, he grabs the metal grate, throws it upwards, reaches into the fire, and pulls out the possibly slightly melted dragon bone. With his bare hands, grabs the blade, slams them together, grabs his hammer, and just starts beating the two of them together. It's amazing. Like, the things he's doing to this bone and this sword, you've never even conceptualized doing before. But you're not sure how he's still alive, I'll be honest. It does not look like he should be okay with this. As he's just getting covered with soot. And by the time he's done with it, like, he is poured into the water, he's pulled it out, he's beaten it to amazing edge, he's grinded the edge down, grabbed essentially like leather, and added a little bit of bone to that, slid that on as like the handle, and he comes back to you guys after about 5-10 minutes or so, with a blade that should not have been able to be done that fast, but it looks beautiful. It's also slightly sparkling with lightning. The entire blade is slightly sparkling with lightning. And it's like, all right, here you go. Not my best work, but, you know.
Not your best work?
Oh, yeah, this kind of
I would say
rushed.
otherwise.
I didn't do that much to it.
Jeez.
I didn't even fuse this with anything. It's honestly has a lot of natural attachments.
My friend, we are going to need to exchange infusion lists later.
You are terrifying
processes.
and wonderful.
Oh, cool.
Ah,
Goodness.
well, thanks for the compliment, little lady. Yeah, I could try. I've never actually tried telling someone about blacksmithing before.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't exactly gone into an in-depth process for how alchemy works either. But I'd wager a lot of interesting things could happen if you combine fluid element with metal.
That's true.
Sir, if I may ask, do you price your work or is it on request?
I don't if you mean by like gold and such, I don't typically price it. Usually someone gives me an amount and I, ask it back. Some of my stuff is simply priceless. He once again grabs what he labeled as Betty, which, by the way, the head of this massive two-handed warhammer thing is the same size as his torso. As he just kind of like hefts it onto his shoulder. Betty here, for example, is tied to my soul, so it's not really worth anything to most people. Then he puts it back and he like hangs on the wall, and you can see the hooks kind of like groaning with the weight of the hammer, which he just casually placed on the wall. But most of my other work, I can make you leather armor, metal armor, heavy armor, plate armor if you're rich enough, weapons of all kinds. If you really want a bow, I can make you one, but like her stupid mug, take me like 10 seconds.
Fascinating.
Okay,
And do
look, this mug is wonderful and will cause all chaos. Okay?
Nice.
Of course. Now, what I'm wondering is, do you only do battle items, or are you willing to branch out, if I may ask?
You have my curiosity. He grabs his hammer. And you have my smith.
Evren pulls out her lyre.
Ooh, interesting. What might this be?
This is a lyre that I won in a very interesting poker match. And I actually don't know the entire properties of this, but there's not actually the actual description on the things out of character.
I think it's just a lyre that you have.
Yeah, I feel like I remember you getting me like a really special lyre. And I don't remember the exact.
Wait, on.
Oh,
I feel
wait,
like
I don't think you imported the description things into the new thing.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Hold on. I think I need to find that as well. But anyways, keep going.
Yeah. And I was wondering, it hasn't exactly sparked anything in my performances. I know for a fact that it does some interesting things, but I feel like it could reach a higher potential, make sounds that reverberate throughout the world, or simply, I want it to sound really cool, for lack of a better term.
Are you saying that you want me to turn this lyre into a thing that can cross dimensions?
Sure, why not?
Wait, you could just straight
I
up
can
make
do that.
tools that do that?
Well, I've not tried before, but I'm pretty sure if I throw it into a fire hard enough, I could potentially get something that does that.
I think we might have a job for you later.
I've never tried to multi-dimension a item of some sort. I usually am one who makes swords to stab people. Do you mind if I make this lyre stab worthy?
You can make it stab people if you want. My general goal was to make it create sounds that capture the eyes, the ears, and the hearts of anyone who listens to it. But crossing dimensions and stabbing people is a plus.
Nice. Well, I'll do both. Get you do you one better, So this will take me a while though. Actually, I like you. You gave me a challenge. This will take me. I actually have no idea how long this would take me. Come back in like a week or two or something. I'll probably have something for you then. It's fascinating.
Of course, follow your dreams, good sir.
Yeah. He then grabs it and tosses it into the back.
We'll have to find a replacement in the meanwhile.
I mean, it probably still needs to be clean, but you could borrow my flute.
Sure, why not? I've never played the flute before.
Just grabs the flute, starts playing.
Yeah, you'll have to give me a few minutes to have it sanitized. It hasn't exactly gone through much process since the last time I used it.
I sanitize things very quickly. He looks over at his massive burning fire. Very quickly.
I think I'm just gonna go with one of my cleaning agents. Stuff I usually use for cleaning my tools.
Fair enough.
I mean, I've played worse, but sure, go ahead, clean it.
Alright. Above game, I'm going to be spending the next probably 10-ish minutes running some sort of cleaning agents through this.
Okay. Hey, he's don't look at you and he'll just go, so you're the only one who's not crusted anything of me yet, tiefling.
No. Above game, I actually did request something, the chambered flask.
Oh, the chambered flask, that's right. He's don't look at you and he's don't smile and he's gonna be like, so, your task was actually quite fascinating. As he reaches into just a bag on his hip and pulls it out. It is pristine. It is quite beautiful. And he actually handles it a lot more, kind of more gently than he has handled a lot of the other stuff as he kind of hands it to you. A chambered flask, as you said. 4 chambers. You can add 4 types of potions or 1 type of potion 4 times into it. And it will be very effective. You can chamber it and move it around. It's, I must say, it's one of my best works, aside from Betty. Can't do better than that.
I'm liking it! Definitely he's taking good use of this thing.
Oh, yeah. And if you don't like it, I will piss in your drink. That's my general rule for customers.
Honestly, a good rule, considering how great your work is.
Why, thank you. So surprised you had me do a mug.
Well, I didn't really have much else. I'm a simple monk that wields a fry pan. It's pretty effective as is.
Have you ever thought about... He reaches over and pulls out 2 gloves that are spiky. Spiky gloves! Or like, he grabs battle axe. Battle axe! Or,
I don't think I can wield those, and I don't like doing too much damage to people, personally speaking.
What about he reaches in, he holds his hand up for a moment, walks into another room, comes out, and hands you a rolling pin. I found this in my kitchen.
That's usually where it belongs.
Yeah, so's a fry pan.
Should I be mean?
I mean, I've never seen a rolling pin.
I want to flash him with my fry pan so badly right now.
I like how I came back to flash with fry pan. What did I miss for the last 5 minutes while I was grabbing
He gave her a rolling pin.
Oh.
I mean,
and said that my fry... It's like, oh, yeah, it usually belongs in the kitchen. And it's like, yeah, just like your fry pan. It's like...
To be fair, the man doesn't know.
I've never seen a rolling pin.
I'm about to educate him.
I mean, that's probably, in her defense, that's probably the biggest frying pan we've ever seen, and I'm fairly certain that rolling pin cannot give off effects similar to to the gods themselves.
That's debatable. I'm going to make a magical cooking tool that will be better than whatever the gods could conceive. What cooking tool? I could use a spoon, maybe a butter
You
knife.
can certainly try.
You know what?
I mean,
I'll make a sink.
What about a ladle?
A ladle.
I'm more than happy to trade you the formula for my radiant weapon infusion.
I would love that. What do you like in reply? What would you like instead?
Just sitting there, just debating, she's like, I'm not really thinking of too much that, can you do anything interesting with, just like looking through his general tools?
I can do many interesting things with many things. Just don't look back at that liar. Many interesting things. Actually, you know what? He kind of looks at Apron. Come back tomorrow. I'll have the liar done. I'm going to work on it all night.
Thank you.
Yes. In exchange, you have to pay me 100 gold.
Sure.
All right. He holds out his hand.
Sure, 100 gold.
Yes.
Fine.
Oh, here's an interesting one I could request. I don't suppose you have much experience with, what's the word I'm looking for here? Collapsible cauldrons.
Huh. Lightweight, but also effective. I could do that.
And the most impressive bit, can be reduced, folded back up, and held in a smaller area as normal. I've been told it's a quality a handful of magical items out there have had, but I feel something like this could be a lot more convenient for simpler potions on the go.
Let's see. Do you have any more dragon scales on you?
Above game, I did not have any of the dragon scales.
Didn't
does.
we put the entire skull in the?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Bill
I'm
has
assuming
all
that's
the
where we put a lot.
scales.
I'm presuming that's where we put a lot of the remains.
It's in my bag of holding.
So it's just like, do you have some more dragon scales on you? I could do that. I will need 15 dragon scales.
Hold on. Give me a minute. Just Bill puts his head in his, like he's halfway in his bag of holding. Like he starts kicking. Like trying to signal, someone get me out of here. I found him.
Ellie's gonna go over and just help him out.
From what I've been recall from bags of holding, you generally just have to put your arm in and think about the item, and it basically just appears in your hand.
Is that how it works? I just always put my head in.
That's how I've always been told that those things worked. At least that's how my mentor's instruction manual said about these things.
I like how you think, Mr. Bill.
That's a lot safer than having to hold my breath.
Yeah, I've been told that there flat out can never be oxygen in those things.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I choked out the Dragonborn with it.
That sounds like a really
Bill, you are terrifying.
What? It's not hard to figure that out.
Considering the god simply said that your master's like you, but a little bit more intelligent, that's terrifying. The man must be, yeah.
He's a nice person, though.
It's not surprising the gods had so much trouble with him.
He's not that bad. You just get him a little drunk and he just sits there and chills. Until he starts thinking of something. And then half the house explodes. But that's happened so many times I can't count.
just staring
Okay.
and confused and concerned.
The blacksmith just nods sagely to this. Yeah, this ace has exploded more times than I can count. He like grabs the grate again, slams it back down. Don't worry about that.
See?
Well, I guess if this is how we're going to be handling the exchange, then pull up a seat. This is going to be a while.
All right. Pulls up the seat. Not really sure where he got the chair from, but he got it from somewhere.
Pulled it out of the furnace.
Yeah.
I'm just going to post this in the general chat and just say that this is probably going to be a while. In the meantime, I'm going to say I finish off the flute and hand it off to Averin.
Nice. So, yeah, you guys are welcome
Crap,
to.
it doesn't include the description in that.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, you guys are welcome to. If you just click its a name on the equipment tab and then you click info.
Oh no, that's the thing. It's not a piece of equipment. That's a class ability.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I think it's the same with the features. Which one was it?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go. Infusions. Nice. I don't know why it automatically doesn't do that anymore, but oh well, just annoyances. But yeah, so you guys are welcome to either stay with Oliver in this obscenely hot area with their 10-foot raging fire behind the blacksmith who's just chilling, or you guys can continue to do other stuff.
I'm gonna practice with this flute.
Nice.
Ellie's stepping out. She's done getting a tan.
Do a performance check for me, Averin.
Okay.
Oh, almost a 20.
God, I am good at the flute.
you grab it from him. You've never once touched the flute before. You put your hand on it, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's how that works. And you just start playing. It takes her about 30 seconds to learn how to do a performance with it. I went from sounding like do 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 to Megalovania.
Holy crap!
I play Flight of the Bumblebee.
Yeah, as Ellie walks out, she just starts playing that. Ellie realizes there's a bunch of people who are now like maybe 15, 20 feet away from the smithing area, who are just listening, kind of nodding, some clapping.
I don't.
I'm gonna pickpocket him.
Not worth going back in for.
You walk outside, you see a bunch of them, and your immediate response is go and do the flute and pickpocket. Go and do the flute and pickpocket.
Oh my gosh.
How exactly you go pickpocket people while they're watching?
Oh, simple, Bill.
You know what? There you go. Yeah, ask Bill.
Bill doesn't care.
Bill, go hunt them down.
Just Bill's gonna start following her, and she can make a gesture, and Bill will understand. He may not be smart, but he understands how to be a bard. There's nothing that says he's a good person. He's just chaotic good.
Roll me sleight of hand with advantage. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, Averin has almost turned everyone on this team a criminal.
Correction, Bill already was one.
That is true.
So you're pickpocketing dwarves. So funny enough, you're almost their height. This is the easiest pickpocketing you've ever done in your life. And they're dwarves, so they hoard money. So you gain a good, solid 30 gold. Because you just Sweet.
Bill's gonna look at the shiny, clackety gold coiny, and he's gonna like kind of like walk over to Averin and just like walk behind her and just dump like 90% of them in her bag and keep 10 for himself.
You had good 20 gold just shoved into your pocket, so feel free to add 20 gold to your account.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ. Got a fifth of your money back. Here we go. All right, cool. So it takes Oliver a while to set up the inscription and whatnot, but eventually the blacksmith nods and he's like, "I'll work on that once I'm finished with her lute or her lyre. So that'll probably take me
That's
a
fair
couple
enough.
hours after her lyre."
Fair enough. That was a paying customer anyway.
Yeah. I mean, technically you're paying too, just with a different type of currency.
I see your point, but still, I can make do with the tools I have right now. For a good long while anyway.
He nods.
Just figured that this would be. I just figured this would be more convenient for like potion making around the campfire.
Yeah. Well, for a alchemist like yourself, I feel like that'd be a smart plan. And feel free to come by, the rest of y'all, if y'all need armor, weapons. If you need me to repair your armor, I mean, I will look at you scornfully until you pay me, but I'll repair armor too. If it's magical armor, I'll do it without payment. But if it's mundane armor, I mean, really? He just kind of again gestures to his massive smithing area.
Yeah, I understand that one. Still, one craftsman to another. Good to finally meet a battlesmith. And he just has just giving him a salute as he steps out the door.
Nice.
All right, so that should be out of the way. Sorry it took so long. How's everything going out here?
Going fine.
Cooler, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's
about that.
easy.
Oh, really? I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I was having a difficult time getting a good sounding song out of that.
Well,
You're free to
comes
hold on.
naturally.
I suppose folks that are a lot more musically inclined and probably would find it a bit easier, but still, that is a little frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little frustrating for me because no lips.
Hmm.
Can't really play instruments that require them.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a good question. How on earth do you keep pulling that off?
Oh. Opens mouth, bagpipe noises. Closes mouth, mimic.
Oh.
Just confused stare. Okay, I have a lot of examination I need to do later.
See, like Bill pulls out his actual bagpipes. I keep them in the big bag because I like to be able to just randomly grab them. But I hold it above my head like so, and bagpipe noises because we don't have a sound effect here, sadly, not yet. Anyway,
Insert
And,
bagpipe noise here.
yeah. Close his mouth. See, easy. Kind of. To be fair, I am a bird creature thingy. Human creature. I am a birdnoid.
I mean, I guess, but
Bird.
I've only heard of like 2 birds on the planet that's capable of mimicking sounds like that.
3.
I mean, yes, 3 now, but
Bill
think
will
that's the right
remember. Oh.
I mean, what were the birds?
crows and parrots, or no, it was ravens and parrots.
Yes, the inferior version of me. And what's the other thing? A parrot?
Parrots?
What the heck's a parrot?
Normally a very colorful bird that tries to mimic other sounds it hears to assist in what I believe was originally supposed to be communication with other individuals for when they need something, and occasionally for mating calls, I've heard. I don't know.
Oh, target practice.
What?
Excuse me?
What?
Jesus Christ.
They're big, they're colorful, and they're loud. Target practice. That's what I call them.
That's probably the most morbid comparison I've ever heard.
I mean, to be fair, the woods. You big, loud, and colorful in the woods.
That is
you are
true.
a walking, talking
Yeah.
target.
I mean, true, but I could say that about just about any songbird.
But they big.
I mean, I guess.
As someone that has also been basically raised in the woods, yeah, I agree. If you're big, colorful, you're definitely target practice.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that we got the blacksmith done, should we try to find a way to meet with the king?
They said that his chambers was somewhere in the caves. Maybe we'd be able to make some sort of exchange, or at least inquire with them how to get in.
We should probably snag Iron Belly, because he did bring up before that he would maybe bring us to him, or at least up to that point.
That's fair.
Hold
But
on,
if
I got
nothing else,
this.
it shouldn't hurt to go and ask the guards. So
Yeah.
far as I'm aware, so long as we're not
Well-
actively trying to break any laws, they shouldn't stop us from doing anything.
The biggest issue right now is I'm really certain he's not sober right now, because he's with Jackson at the taverns. But we can definitely try to use him as a guide.
I mean, I could give him a shot out of my lesser cure-all that should very quickly clean the alcohol out of his guts, though I'm fairly certain that's going to put him into a bad mood.
Bad mood versus possible death? I don't know.
What were you going to say, Bill?
You know what? That's actually fair. I don't know if being an honorary dwarf means anything to getting to see the king.
I mean, it would also matter
Honorary!
whether.
That was the word we were looking for earlier.
It also would be prevalent if they've heard about this discussion. We have no idea who these dwarves are, or how learned they are for what goes on out here, or at least how fast they learn about the information that goes on out here.
Yeah.
That is true. Who knows what they've heard about us?
So far, at least, it seems only Bill has had most information talked about him here. You guys, no one's really paid attention to you. You guys just kind of are in the crowd. Especially even right now, like, people are kind of looking at Bill. Some people are looking at Averin because she just did the performance, but Oliver and Ellie, you two are, like, barely noticeable to most people as they walk by. Aside from the fact that you're kind of tall, but, you know. This is also, weirdly enough, one of the very first times that, Oliver, you've been in a town where you are as unnoticeable as a human.
That's fair, yeah, that would be a little weird.
Yep. The most noticeable one is obviously Bill, but also Averin.
You know what? I missed this. Bill, like messing with sand. I just realized something. I can
What's that?
snap both of my fingers again.
Hey!
Oh, heck yeah!
Congratulations.
Really depressing that I'm so sad. I'm so happy about that.
Oh, no, I get that.
Your claw hand's a very different sound. It's quite a bit bigger than your other hand, but it still is a very, very catharsis ability to be able to snap your weird fingies.
I'll just put it this way. I've been thinking at the very least of the past above game however long he's been without an arm.
About
Insert
4 days?
here.
4
I've been
days.
thinking about
Yeah, about 4
4 to
days.
at the very least a few times over the course of the past 4 days. It's crossed my mind about just how crappy and difficult it would be to, well, make potions and handle other alchemical-based tasks with only one arm. Like, I'm fairly certain a handful of those tasks would straight up be impossible.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully it was only really my hand that I lost, but like...
Still...
Yeah, the nub was kind of hard to move things with, especially making that those sandwiches this morning. By the way, y'all want a sandwich?
Of course.
Yes, actually, I'm starving.
Pulls
Anytime.
out 3 more sandwiches.
I suppose I did neglect to go and grab something for that.
Yeah, the tavern keep didn't even blink an eye when I went behind the counter.
Doctor!
Why didn't
It's been a busy morning.
It has been a very busy... It's been a busy couple of days.
Yeah, eventually we'll slow down, but for now, we need to grab a hopefully not too drunk bard and his guardian.
Yep. We probably need to get on that as soon as we can.
All right. So y'all head
Just
back
stay
to the
here.
tavern, I assume?
I would
Yep.
assume.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you guys head back to the tavern. It's much more rowdy than y'all were experiencing the night before. Obviously, you guys came in around like 9 p.m. or so, and that's about when people start going to sleep because you only get a certain amount of darkness throughout the night, and the rest of the time is just gray except for the hour of like sunshine. So people tend to regulate their schedules around that period of time, and so this is like probably like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. or so. It's probably around the time that you guys would be active, moving about, and everything like that. So you guys get into the tavern about that time. It's very ruckus and loud. It's starting to get a little bit more bright outside. So you guys kind of know that you guys are starting to hit into the noon area. And the bartender just kind of nods at Bill and the rest of the group as they walk in. You guys see Iron Belly kind of a little bit of ways, just like, yeah, woo, more drinks. And Jackson just behind him, leaning against a wall, keep an eye out on him and everyone who's drinking with him.
So how are we gonna handle this? Ask first, and then sneak it in his drink if that doesn't inflate it, or if it doesn't seem like we're getting anywhere.
Well, he does have a guardian, so we can always just grab Jackson by the collar and drag him.
Jackson just kind of raises his hand and waves at y'all.
Oh, we better get going then.
Ellie will just saunter up and it's like, and bless my brave soul. She's going to grab his leather vest or top and it's like, hey,
Hello. What's up? He like finger guns at you awkwardly.
Romance.
Budding.
I don't think this is romance, but okay. We're planning on going to the library, but we kind of need, the drunk dwarf over there.
Oh, he's only tipsy. He's only taken like 30 drinks at this
Really?
point. He's barely even into near drunk state.
30?
Wow, I'm surprised.
Holy
Yeah,
crap! How sweet is a dwarven liver?
he's going a little bit light today because he figured y'all would get him sometime before the sun rose. So
Well, we do need him so we can get inside the caverns and talk to
just
the
don't
king.
look at Iron Belly and go, "Oi, Iron Belly, move your buttocks." Iron Belly looks at him and goes, "Ah, all right." He like stands up and like 3 people move away from him and he pushes the chair backwards and he goes, "Yeah," and he grabs the chair and sets it back normally. Like he acts like he's about to slam into the ground, but he just sets up normally. He starts walking his way to the door. He grabs the door violently and gently opens it and he starts walking out.
Bill's just gonna like lean over to Averin. So between Ellie and Jackson, who's in the lead?
Well, that was probably easy.
It's hard to tell, but I'd say Ellie, honestly.
Yeah, she's grabbed him more than he has her.
Yeah, I think Jackson's got to start making some moves, honestly.
Yeah, he's gonna lose in the points game here soon.
Yeah.
Living in the same house as Ellie is fantastic when y'all make mentions of stuff like that. I just hear her yelling in the background.
I'm sorry, I'm dying. The idea of being like caught off guard by Jackson as Ellie, oh boy. Throw me against the wall. Sure, let's see what happens.
Yeah, he'll break both his elbows. Oh, as he starts going, Jackson just kind of looks at you and is just like,
Oh.
"My lady."
Mm.
Yes, sweetie. What's up?
Our charge is walking. Wait,
Yeah, we should
Shit.
probably get moving.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Ellie turns red and starts walking. We're good. We're good. We're going.
Oh, that's another point.
Indeed. He's almost catching up. He's just
Yeah, a
got to be a
little
little
bit.
more suave.
Just a little bit more.
You guys need to teach him skill.
he's just gonna kind of walk forwards and go. I mean, I could throw her like a boat, but
Maybe onto a
Ellie
bed,
hits her
but
fry
not a
pan
wall.
to her face really fast.
I was gonna go with a river. But I mean, a bed works too, I guess.
Is that how romance works? Dang, it's weird.
Huh?
That's weird.
I was taught by Arthur that if you really love somebody, throw them in a river and see if they swim.
That sounds like it's practically murder with some people.
So
I
you
just, like-
don't love me. Okay.
We haven't
Didn't
been
he
around a
attempt to-
river.
I just like pat him on the
I
shoulder.
pushed you into it.
Yeah. You showed me your love by throwing me into a river and seeing if I swam. We haven't gone back to a river.
Fair point, I guess.
I don't think the Trail of Tears counts.
Yeah.
No.
I would be concerned if you tried to throw her into that.
Like a boat.
Just like pat him on the shoulder. It's just like, you got a lot to learn, friend.
Oh,
Yeah, I keep being told that.
It's okay. We'll get there. But one way or another, I mean, I guess there's plenty of learning time while traveling.
how many gallons of water do you think it would take to make an impromptu river large enough for that test?
Oh my gosh.
Probably like
I mean, Ellie definitely needs
No. That was in-game me saying
Oh.
that.
don't look at you
Like-
quizzically for a second to just be like, 1, 2, four,
I can get you 6.
I think like 20, maybe 30. That might do like a small river. I could probably. I think I could throw you in like 30 gallons of water.
So that would be
I
5
would drag you with me.
That would be about 5 days worth of water then. Gotcha. Where would we even store all that?
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
there'll be water in the caverns. Who knows? But
From what I've
I
been
know-
told by our dwarven friend, gestures to the guy who just walked out the door. It
Oh, no,
sounds
I
like
assume
there's
we're doing
really
it.
just lava. In
I assume we're like walking and talking at this moment.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Just gesturing to the dwarf who's quite a bit ahead, and he's just like, yeah, they mostly just have lava. And there might be some water down there, but they kind of mine a lot. I don't know if you noticed. Just
See, I've
to
always-
the area.
I've always been kind of curious about the elemental makeup of lava. I would assume it's just going to be earthen, but it's so warm, I've been told.
Well, if you stick your hand in it, it's going to end badly. That's all I know.
Oh, no. That's not how an experiment I'm going to run. I know that one.
That's a smart plan, Doctor. Y'all continue following him. And Iron Belly starts to slow down a little bit until he's right in your group. And he's like, all right, guys. So he leads you guys to the entrance to the dwarven area, which is massive, giant stone gates. And it's pretty much a arch with like 2 massive stone gates. And there's 2 guards in front of it. One of them is a little bit of a stocky, but definitely a fit guy, and then the other one is rather small. Honestly, he looks about the size of Bill. He's holding a javelin that's probably like 4 times his size, and the slightly taller guy kind of looks at you guys and goes, "Halt! What you doing here? What you need? Where are you going?"
My name is Eleanor Gray. We're here to meet the king. Sorry, just Ellie.
He raises his eyebrow, as does Jackson. And the dwarf kind of looks at you and just goes, which way? And the little one like looks up at him and goes, is it that, Ellie? And he goes, are you that, Ellie? The
Wait, I'm
one who
confused. Above game, I'm
single-handedly
confused.
took a god in her hands and went fisticuffs with it with like a pair of shining metal things, discs. Stories get jumbled.
Whoa! You mean the... Yeah, my fry pan. I went toe-to-toe with the 13-foot tall person there.
Yeah.
Being
Yes.
bashful, it's like, yeah, that's us.
Yes, this is Ellie, the Godslayer.
Ah,
Doctor?
nice. Who's the other ones? And Iron Belly kind of raises his hand and he speaks up and is like, I'm Iron Belly of the Clan Bell. I'm here to get into the library. I have my protector, Jackson. He's protecting me as I've gone from Mercy to up here. Here's my papers. And he gives him a paper. Guy looks over it, hands it back, and him and Jackson just immediately start walking through. It is very clear that giving those papers means you walk forwards or I don't open the gates. And so that they walk forwards, and the small guy, yes, the small guy who's about Bill's size, grabs one of the edges of the gates, and you can see his entire body flex. And it's quite disturbing, I'll be honest. This tiny little dwarf, about 2 foot tall dwarf, so it's like a midget dwarf, grabs the edge of the doors, flexes his entire body, which makes him expand like a couple of, probably like 4 inches or so. And he drags the heavy metal gate open as the two of them immediately walk through before he slams it back closed, unflexes, turns around, picks up his spear, and stares forwards again.
Goodness.
Wow. You're as powerful as the god we went against.
I train every day so I can be as strong as I can be. And then I can stab foes to winter.
Admiral.
I mean, that's
name's
a little
Munchkin.
Pleased to meet you. That seems a bit. I guess that is kind of necessary for a guard, though.
Yeah. And he flexes again. And you can see, well, actually looking at him this time, he grows up like a couple inches as his entire armor is like pushed outwards a little bit. And it kind of legitimately looks like he just put on like 60 pounds of muscle by just flexing. He stares up at you guys before he unflexes and just goes back to a tiny diminutive form and stares up with a smile. I'm
Anyway.
Squonk.
Pleased to meet you. I suppose only Ellie. He's really given her face. Hi, I'm Oliver Richards, doctor from Silver Pass. I've come here to meet up with the king to present a gift and request his assistance. In addition, I was hoping to make my way down to the archives and exchange some knowledge in there. If that would be
Interesting.
allowed.
Are you going yourself or with your team?
With the team, I'd hope. Just looking back to the others.
He stares at Bill and Averin. Introduction.
I'm Bill. Hi.
And
I'm
then the
Admiral.
little one speaks up
Traveler.
again, looks at him, and pokes him in the shoulder and goes, "The Alcoholics Club." He
Yes.
looks down, looks at Bill, reaches into his bag, and pulls out a piece of paper. Slowly unfurls the piece of paper. And it's the picture of Bill that y'all saw in the tavern. And he reaches out and goes, "Can you sign here?"
Yes. Bill like reaches
Did he get an
over.
autograph?
Yes, that's how it seems to me. Oh my gosh, that's glorious.
Just Bill just grabs the paper with his like new hand and like grabs the. Does he hand me a pencil?
He
What's
hands you a little quill with he pre-tips it in ink and hands it to you.
And Bill just puts in big bold letters B-I, and it's like a when kids first go into school.
Mm-hmm.
He
Just
writes
letters
it
of all sizes.
yeah, no, it's all capitalized, all of it. It's like those how when people get taught to write,
Uh-huh.
it's in that because
The
he's not
weirdly
copying
big
someone
ones.
else's. Yeah, since he's not copying someone else's and he's just being assigned, but it's not on a line. He's not sure how to do this, so he just does the big letters
They
and hands
after
it
you're
back to
finished
Dora.
writing on it, he grabs the scroll from you, grabs the paper, slowly folds up, and then just passes it to the tiny one. Tiny one looks with glee as he puts it to his bag. He's like, I got Bill. And then they look at Avron.
I'm sure my introduction won't be nearly as celebrated as my friend here, but I'm Avron, traveling bard from the slums.
Why are you here?
Oh, I'm merely with them. I
Oh.
gesture at Ellie.
Yeah, she joined our group not long after we cured the disease up at the Citadel.
He stares at you kind of blankly. He just goes, protection or other reason.
Protection is certainly a way to put it.
Guard. Got you. And the little one goes, okay. Grabs the fucking solid door thing, flexes again, and rips it open. You can tell by the sound of this door and how slowly it kind of moves. This is a solid, probably ton door. That's solid stone. As the dude's just opening it it's difficult, clearly. Nothing's going to open up this door without a lot of firepower behind it. And the big guy looks at you all and goes, he reaches into his bag and pulls out a couple of pieces of paper and hands one to all of you. This is your insurance. If you get caught down in the mines, show it. If they are friendly, they won't kill you. Otherwise, they'll stab you. If they stab you, kill them back. Show this to anyone that you see down there. Otherwise, you will die.
Okay.
Unnerved look
Thank
as he
you.
slowly takes his paper. Yes, thank you. I suppose we should probably make a move on, or else our compatriots are going to be lost down there. I could
Yeah,
have
a
phrased
small
that
guy
better.
looks up at you and goes, if you don't move soon, I will crush you with the door.
Fair enough. Just immediately start facing himself into the room.
Yeah, Ellie's darting in there. It's like, Jackson.
You see Jackson a couple of feet from the entrance of the door, clearly waiting on you guys.
Just Bill casually walks in.
Could have warned us about the awkward introductions we had to do at the gate.
The Iron Belly's like, I did tell you that you had to add some reason as to why you're going in here, right?
I mean, I
did.
think that much. I think that much makes
True.
sense.
Oh right, I was supposed to give that.
Oh,
It's fine.
I mean, how did you get in here without doing introductions?
I just said my name.
He's from the Alcoholics Club.
Oh, yeah, that little son of a bitch does love alcoholics. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
At
Alright,
this
well,
rate, I really am going to have to become. I'm a brewer if I'm going to remain here.
yeah,
Yep.
dwarves have a passion for alcohol. But anyways, I can take you to the library, the archives, as they're called. Really is a place of almost all knowledge. I have a couple things need to look up there anyway, so that's why I'm mostly coming down here with y'all. I refuse to step foot down the path towards the king. Very dangerous, not my forte. But I can write you a map.
cool.
But if you'd
Wait,
like to
really?
come to the
That
library with
works.
me, you guys can.
Yes, I think it'd be a great opportunity to exchange information.
Indeed.
And just like pulls out the formula for the treatment. And I need to make sure they get this some sooner or later, regardless of whether or not it's worth anything in their eyes.
Alchemical
Putting it
productions is
away.
not something dwarves have much experience with, so your knowledge will come quite in handy. He pulls out
Can't
a
decide
flask
that.
and swigs it.
Can't decide if that means that this information is going to be valuable or useless.
Should be quite valuable. Any information that the dwarves don't have, we consider to be quite valuable. I don't know why exactly. I think it was like an old dwarven decree.
So in other words, I'm probably going to be walled up in here for the next 3+ days, trying to teach them how alchemy works.
Quite possibly. Or you can write it down and they'll keep it in a scroll or something way in the back. Or be in the front.
Just like pulls out his bulging scroll case. This is just information on how that treatment works.
Wow. May spend a while down here. And it just starts walking towards the down the path.
And I will follow.
Did you
Jackson
say something
kind of
about a
says,
map?
huh? Yeah,
Yeah,
as he's walking, the Iron Belly kind of looks up at you and goes, "Oh yes, I can make you a map really easy. I know this cave like back of my hands. Unfortunately, it's a dangerous one, but essentially we're gonna come to a fork in the road, probably 20 minutes from now. To the left, you'll see the building. It'd be very obvious. You really can't miss it. It's a massive building, and they dig downwards, and that's the archives. To the right will be the path that leads towards the king. Very few people go down this path. In fact, I don't think anyone's ever seen the king except for some of his most trusty advisors and people who trade info with him. So it's very rare that information gets to the king from anyone other than he gestures in front of him. One of the librarians down here. But all information comes to the librarian, so he's typically pretty up to date on things. But I can give you a map. It's probably half an hour, 40-minute journey, assuming you don't get stopped by anything, to the king. So be prepared for a long hike. Now, unfortunately, this is the Dwarven Caves, so there are a lot of dangers within the caves, such as cave spiders, golems, lava. It's a very big one. And other ones. In some cases, you can even, as you've probably heard before, there are 2 shortcuts to the Cataclysm lands and the Helios lands, and sometimes they sneak their way in. And it's one of the reasons why you get those. He gestures the papers in his hands, because if they come in without those papers, you are allowed to kill them. That does mean that we do get some assassins coming in every now and again. We get other ones. I don't think any assassins ever made it to the king, but I could be wrong. And so be wary, be careful, and try not to get kidnapped, I guess.
That last bit's a little bit dubious.
If someone kidnaps me, well, it's their fault for doing it because I can be annoying.
About to say, I feel like they'd return you very quickly. If not, well,
I am an acquired taste.
I've been kidnapped already. I'll be fine.
So you guys head down the way, and while you guys are walking, Jackson just kind of goes, "I'll unfortunately have to stay with Iron Belly, considering the many dangers that he has just now explained. There is a possibility that someone may go into the archives with ill intentions, so I have to stay with him as he is my charge until you guys are done with your mission. After you guys are complete your mission of talking with the king, I will be happy to join you if you need it, or I will head back to Miercy, either with or without Iron Belly, depending on his interests. But, yeah, so
Okay.
I'll be in the library if you need me with Iron Belly.
So
but
sad.
Fair enough.
And
It's
Bye-bye.
yeah,
I'll enjoy my time with you.
you got
I'll
so
enjoy the
quiet,
time I
Ellie.
have with you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, my headset died. I
Oh,
switched.
let me up you real quick here. There we go.
Fair enough. Just be careful about that vial of alkahest.
I will indeed.
It's a very. I've been told it's a very. I've been filled in on the horror stories about how destructive that can be if you're not careful with it.
I will
Also,
keep that in
Ellie's
mind.
gonna casually scoot up next to Jackson and grab his hand as we
You'll
walk.
you'll kind of squeeze it as when you hold it, as they continue moving. And you guys eventually do get to the fork that Iron Belly was talking about. It's not really a fork. It's on the left is a giant building, and on the right is a path. It's not really that much of a fork. It's like 5 feet until the doors of the building, but I mean it kind of shaped like a fork. And Iron Belly kind of gestures to it. He's like, "All right, well, whoever wants to go into the library, which I assume is all of you, feel free to join me." He like pulls out a paper, scribbles some notes on it, and hands it to Averin. And here's the map. It's a
Thank you.
shockingly detailed map.
I'll be sure to keep this safe.
Cool. And he turns
Oh.
around and just starts walking to the library as he pulls out his flask again and proceeds to drink more. You can tell he's not in a particularly good mood. Something about this area seems to be bugging him.
So, what do you think? Should we go check out the king first, or should we exchange our information first?
I say we go to the library first.
Oh, I didn't take you as a library person, Averin.
Information is a form of power. From what
I
I know.
mean, that is true. I did want to gather up some information about that library Ezekiel was trying to look for. So that way we have something he may need in case we need something from him. You know,
course.
it's just a equivalent exchange.
Yep, information definitely is power. That's out there as well. There's so many restrictions on what alchemists are allowed to do. He just said that's very bluntly and in a very frustrated tone, flipping through his notes.
Mhm.
Fair
Jackson
point.
kind of nods.
Still holding on to his hand as we go to the library.
To his tan. Yeah. So you all
Stuttering.
start heading towards the library. You open up the doors, and the first thing you realize, that's a lot of bookshelves. Essentially, as you open up the doors, it is one of the largest pseudo libraries you've ever seen in your entire lives. There are scrolls of all kinds, actual leather-bound books, and you guys looking at the first floor. As you guys walk a little bit forwards, you can see there are like guardrails almost, and if you look over the guardrails, there's at least 50 more floors downwards. All of them with the same massive, like 10, 12 feet tall bookshelves lining the entire walls. It's a massive area and it goes far down. And you can see that Iron Belly has already walked up to, well, effectively it's the front desk. There's a couple people sitting there talking as Iron Belly walks up, and he starts engaging them in conversation as one starts walking up to you guys. And it looks to be an elf, actually, weirdly enough, a young-looking elf, female elf, she goes, "Oh, hello, how can I help you? Welcome to the library." It's really the
Hi.
archives, but, we call it the library.
That's quite an impressive library.
Oh, indeed.
I was curious if you guys had any information on the I'm gonna butcher the name. The
The old one, I believe.
no
game,
a
old
library.
The Akashic records.
Akash I can't pronounce it
Akash.
without saying Akatsuki, honey. No.
I know.
can't.
Took me a while. Akashic records. I can't even say it properly.
Yeah,
but,
see.
Akashic?
yeah, Akashic records.
Akashic
A
records?
casket.
Casket records?
She looks at you kind of slightly confused for a second before she goes, "Oh, Oh, we haven't had somebody ask for those for a long time. That's on the 50th floor, my dear.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
Just like looking up. I sure hope you guys have teleportation circles for
Oh no, it's looking
that.
down. It's
Oh.
subfloors.
Still looking down, she's like,
Yeah.
I sure hope there is teleportation circles because that looks like an awful a long ways.
We kind of do. You can teleport every 5 levels or so, but unfortunately it makes a lot of our patients very motion sick, so it's like very, very unpleasant to do it for so many floors. So we usually just take the stairs. Gestures to a pair of stairs.
If there are stairs, there's a place to jump.
I knew I should
I
have made.
mean,
I knew I should have
I did climb a lot of trees and jump from trees. I'm sure Jackson. He's next to me. I can't say that.
Jackson looks at you with a look of like, no, as he like puts his hand on your shoulder with a grip. He's like, if you jump, no.
I knew
Bill's
I should have
gonna
prepared
walk
the
up
elixir
behind
of
It's
flight.
not like you can stop me. Nellie's gonna start.
Ellie, don't forget, I have Featherfall.
Ollie just
Oh,
handed to his
true.
face. I knew I should have prepared an elixir of flight.
See,
Oh.
Jackson, my team has me just fine.
You see him look with a look of pure concern as she just hops the fence.
Bill's going to cast Featherfall as she jumps the fence.
I'm going to stay up
Going
with the
down.
elf. I'm just going to stay up with the elf for a moment. Or actually, as they're going down, I'm going to slip Ellie my rope and the bottle of rope trick. Just simply because it's just like, somehow I'm fairly certain that's going to be the easiest way back up.
Probably.
Maybe.
Oh,
You know.
By the way, lady, tall lady,
Yes? Mr.
I need
Kanku?
books over the... What?
Hmm?
How do you know what I am? No one knows. What are you?
I've read a lot of books inside this library. Some of them much older tomes refer to species such as yours from a long time ago as Kankus. So I assumed that you were a Kanku, although this is the first time I've actually seen one of your kind in in my entire 500 years of life.
Ah! Someone
Wait.
knows what I am! Yay! Wait. Finally.
Perhaps they have books on your species?
Do you know
That
why
would
I
be-
can mimic things? Is that just a
Oh.
weird trait, or am I a weirdo?
It's a natural Kanku ability to be able to mimic anything that they are able to hear.
Oh my word. Wait, I can mimic it. But before I forget,
I really
books
wish
on
Ellie
the
was
planes
there.
and books on the planes and how to travel between them.
Traveling between them. Are you a wizard by chance?
I'm a bard, but I made a deal
Oh.
with a dragon, and I kind of have to keep the promise, or else I probably die.
Well, I can attempt to find some for you. I'm not really sure where they would be exactly. They might also be kind of near the 50th floors where many of the older records tend to be, or we're not really sure where necessarily they may go. It's so we can move them down again and again, so we kind of know the information or cycle through them and place them in their respective areas as we continue digging deeper. That way we never, lose information and the information stays relevant as much as possible. So maybe like on the 47th floor, you might find something related to the planes and specifically had to travel planes. The actual planes books and the various different planes are on level 42, but most of the how to travel planes is like level 47, level 48 a little bit. There's not a whole lot of information down there, but you might be able to find something relating to your question.
I will memorize every book on those floors. Gotcha. As he just walks over and jumps the railing. Bye, guys! Oh, and before he leaves, he does cast it on Ellie himself, Oliver, Averin, and Jackson, since that makes 5.
Okay.
So he just jumps the thing and just waves bye to everyone as he just falls.
Such a curious little Kenku. And you, Mr. Tiefling.
Ah, yes. I actually came here to exchange information.
Oh.
I just say, pulling out my scroll case.
We haven't actually had an exchange of information for quite some time. We would love to include your information in our archives. What information do you have?
Well, I can give you a pretty decent rundown about how alchemy works, but one of the more important details that I do definitely want to make sure that every town has information on. How much do you know about... I guess that's the name is something I've been assigning it. Have you heard about an illness including individuals having the visible veins on their body start to glow blue before eventually they explode?
I believe we've heard of a recent infection inside the Citadel, or inside the slums, more accurately, that kind of fits that description. It's a very recent thing, but we have tied its origins back to one of the various minor gods that have been floating around for a while. We haven't quite tied it exactly to which god yet, but it is in our archives. That would be... which level would that be? Probably.
Well, regardless of what level it would be, I believe I found information for how to treat this illness, and I suspect that the elves in the Citadel are planning to use it as their primary assault against the orcs. And from the sounds of things, if they do go along this process, there's a very strong chance nearly everyone in this entire continent is going to find themselves with it. I've tasked myself with trying to find individuals who might be able to make sense of these instructions in order to build some sort of treatment should they find themselves with this infection.
Fascinating. Well, we can certainly log down your findings and mark how to make the potions, and we can possibly get a skilled potion maker down here. I know Mayor blacksmiths are good with specific creations, so we could certainly utilize your abilities if the need comes to rise. If the elves are planning a massive attack using this disease, then it could be a certain danger to us. So we'd likely bar our gates to all those who may be coming and going until the time goes past, but we'll certainly get your information out before that happens.
Well, even if you don't, I've been manually trying to get it out on my own. And if potion making is not really your thing, I would be more than happy to leave some information for the basics of alchemy, or at least enough that you could make sense of this information.
Oh, certainly. We don't actually have any alchemists. We mostly just have blacksmiths that dabble in a lot of things, and brewers that also dabble, and together they make some rudimentary potions. But we have almost no information on alchemical knowledge in of itself. We would love to have some of yours added to the collection.
Oh, certainly. Is there a location I can wait to... And actually, is there a location I should be waiting in to start the exchange for this?
I would say you can come to the front desk with me, and we can figure out something we can utilize for this.
Certainly. All right, I'll be waiting for you up there then. In that case.
Okay.
And I'll just start making my way down in that direction. I assume that would just leave Averin there then.
Yep, Averin. Are you even in the library?
No, I've left at this point.
Yep.
Jackson would have noticed.
Jackson would have noticed, but he just assumed that you had the map so you could scout out ahead. His intelligence is, I believe, not uber high. Hold on. Mercy Jackson.
My man?
13 intelligence. He assumes that you would probably be going to investigate since you got the map, everything like that. Oliver, what's your passive perception?
I believe it's an 11, but let me double check that.
Should I roll stealth?
Yeah, it's an 11.
11. He would not have noticed, so no, you would be doing your passive stealth, which is a 16. So yeah, not a single person noticed aside from Jackson, who just assumes that you're going to scout out ahead.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you start making your way. I'm assuming you're going towards where the king is.
Yes.
Okay. So you start heading on.
I'm so mad at myself right now.
I know, right? That's beautiful, beautiful time there. So you start heading your way down the fork in the path. His map is fairly clear. You're also the only person who has the map. Funny enough. So the map is very clear. You have not only an ability that allows you to advantage on stealth, if I remember correctly. Your sandals of sneaking. So you roll your stealth with advantage if you would.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, your 17 will work there. You start heading down into the depths of this cave, and let me show you what that looks like real quick. I believe it's the cave system first. There we go. So this is a cave system right here. There's another one I have, but yeah. So essentially this is the fork in the road, more or less. As you can see from this massive thing, that's kind of where the king goes, and literally right here is where the library is. Literally right at the edge of that curve. I'll show this actual picture probably next time because I need a module that I don't have to show it properly to the viewers. But so essentially, you go that way. You start heading deeper and deeper into the cave system. You start getting into this area, which again, you're above a lot of the lava pools and everything like that. You're sneaking along the railroad track. There's you can hear a couple dwarves laughing and bowing inside of what looks to be a mini tavern inside the area. Some who are singing mining songs as you continue deeper and deeper. And eventually you find what looks to be a staircase that actually seems to lead upwards. You can only assume this leads into the dwarven throne room. I'm assuming you're going up it?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing anything else before you go upwards into it?
Oh, well, if I'm going up to like the proper throne room,
Yeah, you essentially
I'm
see a
gonna-
massive set of doors up there.
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna cast Disguise Self.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to disguise myself as Rowena.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I just might have to click this.
Mhm.
Do I want to cast this
can't
as
wait
at a
till she
higher
watches
level?
this episode.
I know, right? Yeah, it doesn't say anything about what it does at higher things. And it lasts for an hour. It did not say that in the description. But that's okay. I shouldn't need any longer than an hour. Yeah, so just cast that at first level. Why not? Boop.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Cool.
So, but I did actually I was thinking about this for a while. So I want to make it look like I'm really ragged, like I just came back from a fight.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
You have seen Rowena get injured before, couple of times, I believe. So you would, and even just using your imagination, you would be able to make it look like she's raggedy. Maybe a slash on her cheek or something of that sort.
Limp a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah. Really put my acting skills to the test here.
I mean, you do have the feature actor, so you are able to do that with ease.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm limping a little bit, and I'm gonna go into the dwarven throne room.
All right. You enter into the dwarven throne. Hold on just a moment. Boop,
Okay.
boop. I don't know why that's a little bit squished, but that's okay. Just looks ever so slightly squished. I don't like that it looks squished, but that's okay. I'm actually going to change into shifting fates bow for a second so people can see. This is also why I don't have the entire thing up, is because I can't get rid of any of this yet without the module. But this is essentially what the throne room looks like. We're going to pull out the boyo. Where did I put him? Oh, boop. There we go. No, that's actually not as squished as I thought it was. I will actually show him to you guys as well. View token artwork. Show players. That's essentially what he looks like.
Oh my
Oh, cool.
goodness.
This is a man who looks fairly old, kind of short. He looks tired. His hands are definitely battered and kind of bruised. He has a massive warhammer, a one-handed warhammer, sitting next to him, clearly for him to use if dangers occur. He looks old, kind of ragged. Even for a dwarf, he looks kind of old. He looks very, very tired as well. And I will switch back to that. Everything. There we go. Okay. So you run in, and I'm actually going to have Rowena's picture. So you kind of stumble in, and he goes, "Who are you?"
I'm Rowena, and I'm here on behalf of the elves. I have very important intel for you.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting. What is your intel?
The orcs. They're planning to invade the dwarves very, very soon. My group of elves, we were scouting out their encampments. We got very close to them, but the orcs, they got to me. They killed my entire group. I only barely managed to make it here.
Kind of like leans forwards. Roll me, because you have so many things added to this. Roll me deception with, I believe, advantage, but let me double check that real quick. No, I think you just do deception because you don't have your advantage thing on yet. No, you should have your advantage thing. What gives you advantage? I know you get advantage for this. Don't know why I can't find it. I'm like 90% cert. I literally just looked through this. Meh. I'm gonna give you advantage anyways, and then I'll find out what it is at a later time. So roll me deception with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jesus Christ. He wholeheartedly believes. There's no way he can actually beat that, by the way. He quite literally cannot beat that. So he wholeheartedly believes you, and he goes, "Are they planning to invade the mine, or simply the town?"
They're planning to invade the town.
Concerning.
Yes. They're planning to do it about the same time as their march. Should be taking a shortcut to here.
They'll be going through our shortcuts through the elven lands.
Yes.
Hmm.
The elves,
They
came to ask. I came to ask for you for help. As
Interesting that the elves would send one of their own to ask for assistance. Never in my lifetime have I seen an elf do so.
you wouldn't normally do this, but desperate times call for desperate measures.
Indeed. Last I heard, the elves were slowly gaining an upper hand against the orcs. Did something change?
That was before my group went to scout out their premises.
Oh.
And something big.
Interesting.
Now, what I want to know is the throne room empty?
Aside from him, it is pretty much empty. You can see these little grates are full, like, he's literally above where you were just running through, effectively. Quite a bit above. Maybe 20, 30, 40 feet above. And so you can see kind of the direction that you came from, lava pools under him. There are mountains of gold around him. You would half swear that this was a dragon's lair from how much gold, jewels, gems, and everything around him. And there is a massive, like, probably 30-foot wide, 30-foot long stone block being suspended in the air. And that's it in the room.
Don't block suspended in the air?
It has a weird stone attachment to it that pretty much pins it to the wall. But effectively, it's being held in the air. It's not on the ground. This makes it vaguely seem like it's on the ground, but as you can see from the shadow, it's like 15 feet in the air. It's pretty damn impressive. He kind of like looks at you as he leans forwards, and he's like, "What did the orcs get?"
Some sort of... I think that they made... the gods. I think something happened. It's hard to describe. It all got a little blurry as soon as I made it into their storage rooms.
You wear the garb of a soldier, but you sound like a ranger. Which are you?
I dabble in both, but I'm, for the most part, a ranger. Mostly my job is to scout. It's what the group's jobs were. We were mostly supposed to scout. We weren't entirely prepared for combat.
Reconnaissance. Party ran in, party died. Reconnaissance against orcs. Makes sense. So how did they find out about our shortcut?
I'm not entirely sure, but it could be, from what I saw, I think they may have spies on the inside. Something much larger than what I thought was possible for them.
Interesting. I thank you for the information, Rowena. That is your family name, correct?
Yes.
What is your first name? I wish to thank you personally, as well as your father when I meet him.
So the thing is, Averin doesn't know this.
She does not.
Um,
Clearly, neither does he.
Magdalene.
Magdalene?
Magdalene.
Magdalene.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. He clearly doesn't know your first name, which is why he's asking. But hearing that, he's gonna go, Magdalene Rowena.
Yes.
I will talk with your father once I meet him. If the orcs are starting to have a crusade towards our land as well, then we will reply in kind. We will support the elves if your information proves to be true. If it doesn't, I may hunt you down myself. But it'd be unlikely. I doubt any of your information may even be untrue. I do not know why you would come here if it wasn't. But your father will sort things out, and I will give him whatever power is required. Is there anything else?
Averin takes a moment to think. She's thinking about like how exactly this might go, because she knows for a fact that Rowena's first name is not Magdalene. Averin's gonna like step forward for a moment, and in a moment of, she's thinking that once he learns that this isn't true, Rowena might die. So she's gonna panic. And I'm assuming that there are many areas of shadow near the king.
There are, yes.
Great. Okay. So
Now, I will suggest, roll an intelligence check real quick. Because
okay.
you know of her father.
Yeah.
You know a lot about her father. You would know from that roll, if the dwarves are going to be on his side, he will absolutely lie through his fucking teeth. So whether or not you said her name correctly might not actually matter to her father.
Okay.
Because
all
he
right.
has the
right now.
dwarves on his side.
Okay. All right. Evelyn is taking a moment, calculating all this, and she says, "Yes, of course. No, I thank you."
Now, I will, because you had such a hardcore moment of hesitation there. Be a 14 with your deception advantage.
Okay.
I know, you have to get above a 3. This would be so hard.
With advantage, you said?
With advantage.
Okay.
You are in your element. Wow, one of those was a 3.
One of those was a 3. I still would have succeeded.
You still would succeed. Alright, with 25. He kind of waves you away as he starts grabbing some paper and starts writing stuff down. Clearly, this is information he's going to be giving to whoever comes sees him next, such as oh my god, what is their names? Information people, people who serve him, give him food, all that other fun stuff.
Envoys, you mean?
Yeah, convoys, yeah. So any convoy that may see him next
It's
time.
envoys.
Oh,
There's
sorry,
no C
envoy.
in there.
Yeah, to any other envoy that may see him later. So you quickly make your way out, probably sweating bullets at this point.
Yeah, full
You are
on.
probably swaying so hard that it's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to this because I'm having another map for it.
God, everyone was so ready to kill him for a second.
Oh yeah. Oh, you were. So I'm assuming you make your way back stealthily, trying to avoid A, the lava pits, B, the insane quantity of other random crap that may be trying to kill you, and all the weird demon monsters, which there are a lot of that you see.
Yeah.
And you head back to the library. You go back in the library. You've been gone for a total of 28 minutes.
Did anyone notice I was gone?
Ellie's been in the bottom, Bill's been in the bottom. It would take them longer to get out to that area than it was for you to go across everything, because you are fast. Oliver would be the only person who may have noticed you were gone, and that's exclusively because no one came up to talk to you for about the 2 minutes that he had before he started being occupied by people. So Oliver, roll me a perception check.
I'm somehow betting this is going to be a no because I've probably also been occupied with the speaker. Yeah, I definitely see nothing.
Yeah, she was in your mind for a second, like, oh, what is she going to ask for? But then you got occupied and you didn't think of her past that. And then she walked back into the library and you kind of registered her existence as she's talking with somebody, but to you, it's like she didn't leave at all. Avern, would you like to ask one of the librarians for anything? Or are you
Not
just
that
gonna
I
be
know of.
wandering?
I think Averin is too busy with her own thoughts on what's going to happen next to actually need any books.
Yeah, so you just start wandering around, kind of absently checking books, pretending you're fine when inside you're having a panic attack.
Oh, I may go check on Ellie.
You start
anything,
slowly jumping from floor to floor.
Yeah, well, yeah, actually I wasn't there when she said what she actually wanted, probably.
Yeah, so you're like, oh, where are they? Oh, she's on the bottom floor. Looks over at 50 floors.
I mean, Jackson was right
Do I still have
there,
feather falling?
but okay.
I don't know how long feather falling lasts, actually.
Pretty sure feather falling lasts for like a minute.
Yeah, one reaction which takes creature.
Yeah, you definitely
Yeah,
don't
1
have it.
minute.
Yeah, okay, I'll
You
just
would have to-
walk.
Yeah, so you just start making your long fucking journey downwards.
Plus side, walking downstairs is usually easier than walking on flat land.
That's
Yeah.
true.
True.
All right, well, that's where we're going to end it today, folks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. That was a very tense 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, if you guys want to see what the
Hey,
fuck
wait.
comes out from that in whatever's going to be happening next, feel free to pop by next week on Friday, 7 p.m. PST, all the way up to 10 p.m. PST. We're also going to be changing up the weekly schedule here soon, so if you guys want to see that, feel free to go to this link and check out our website, or if you guys want to see all the events as they are, feel free to go over to our Discord, where Ellie lovingly makes all the events for pretty much the entire month. And for the month of July, we even have a calendar that she has set up that you guys get to see. It's a very
That's
nice
right, we
picture.
can post that soon.
We can. It's a very nice infographic and be very easy for people to see. So head over to our Discord if you want to see that. We'll also probably post that on our website. And Irish Lad says, "Jump down the stairs. It's faster."
I did. Don't worry. I got you, bro. Featherfall is the way of life. If there's a cliff you jump at and you use Featherfall, if you remember.
Or
There's
you
a
could be
reason
like
that was
Ellie
a-
and just take the brunt force.
There's a reason
Remember,
that's
I
like
casted Featherfall on her,
I
but
don't
she's not
feel
dying
like
today.
getting in trouble with a rogue that can Misty Step and everything, so I'm good.
That'd be
There's a
great.
reason that my Monday group, or that the sorcerer I'm playing with my Monday group had that as her first spell. It's
So-
great.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we'll see all of you fine folks next time. On Sunday, we're going to be playing Legend of Zelda Randomizer with Ellie streaming. So feel free to check that out at 3 o'clock p.m. PST. It's going to be a flashback to our childhoods with a lot of childhood nostalgia, and we may cry. Or we may die. That may be constant. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys later. Bye!
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye!